hope. In this opening possession, a quick strike offense it has been. They have produced plenty of big plays, but they haven't gotten any yet from Desmond Howard. His long return is 45 yards on the year. This kickoff goes to the up man, and it's Chad Levitt. Levitt, the rookie out of Cornell, gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line, where the Raiders will take over on offense. And, of course, the leader of that unit is that man, Jeff George. Jeff George on his way to perhaps a 4,000-yard passing season. Top the NFL or near it in many offensive passing categories this year. 20 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. He has been fantastic. The offensive line, Steve Wisniewski, the Pro Bowler amongst that group. The backs and receivers, all of them can go with it. Napoleon Kaufman is the man who does it out of the backfield. First and 10 to 30, and the pitch to Kaufman. And Kaufman did get to the corner and pick up perhaps 5 on that play. And that'll set up second down and short. Anthony Newman forced him out of bounds. Let's meet the New Orleans Saints defense, ranked number 4 in the NFL. Wayne Martin, the Pro Bowler amongst that group. Joe Johnson, the defensive end, also having a spectacular year. The linebackers, this is the active bunch in this group. Mark Fields might be the best athlete on number 55, and the secondary, also an active one. Eric Allen, the 6-time Pro Bowler, anchors that group. Napoleon Kaufman on 2nd and 5, and he is brought down hard. Hayo Songapulatelli in there on the tackle. And a loss of yardage on that play, a loss of almost 4 as they get him in the backfield.
The key here is penetration by the Saints line. You can see Johnson gets up there, and Kaufman doesn't have anywhere to go. He can't go outside. He can't cut back up inside. And the defensive coordinator of the Saints, Zaven Uralian, told us that that is a key for his defensive line today. Get penetration, disrupt the blocking schemes, disrupt the cutback lanes.
Just what the Raiders didn't want today, 3rd and long situations. They have one on 3rd and 9. And George setting up the screen in the middle, and he has Harvey Williams, and Williams gets up very close to a first down. I think he'll be about 1.5 yards short, however, and that'll force the Raiders into a punt. So the Saints defense on drive number 1 holds on.
Yes, and that play was actually a nod to the Saints defensive scheme, because the Raiders know the Saints will zone blitz from time to time. They'll have a lot of movement. They'll blitz from time to time. And so on the first 3rd and long, expecting a jailbreak coming through from the Saints defense, they throw a screen to counter that kind of thing. Now the Saints didn't blitz that time, but the Raiders are worried about that.
Zaven Uralian, of course, the defensive coordinator, says this group is beginning to bring on the swagger as Leo Araguz punts it away. High punt, taking Eric Gulliford back inside his 10 where he fields it. And Gulliford brings it up to the 19-yard line, where he is brought down by Rob Holmberg, amongst others. And the Saints will take over. Heath Schuler is the man who leads their offense, and it has been a struggle for him this year. Personally, he has 14 turnovers of those 11 interceptions plus fumbles. And the offensive line, William Rope, the Pro Bowler, anchors that group on the left side. The backs and receivers, Mario Bates. When he runs well, the Saints win ball games. John Farquhar, watch the big 6'7" tight end. 1st and 10 from the 19. Andre Hastings in motion. And Schuler, quick drop, and he hits his man outside, who spins off a tackle and goes out of bounds at the first down stick. But we have a flag down on Andre Hastings was the recipient of that catch and run for about 11 yards. Well, actually, they have it spotted about 1 yard short of a first down, but let's get the call. Personal foul against the Raiders.
Well, they picked up where they left off. Last week, they pretty much ended the game with personal fouls and players being ejected in the last 3 minutes of the Carolina game.
Unnecessary roughness on the defense. Number 37, 15 yards, first down.
And the personal foul call, I believe the official 57, that would have been Holmberg, backup linebacker. No, 37 Trapp, I'm sorry. 37 Trapp.
The Raiders lost their composure, Eric, at the last game. They don't want to start this one by losing their composure again.
Well, they certainly do it on that first down play by the New Orleans Saints. Tack on 15 to it. So on first down, the pitch to the near side, and Mario Bates, who gets to the corner. And Bates knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Eric Turner came up from his free safety, force him out. Let's meet the Raider defense, an underachieving unit. First-round draft choices abound in that defensive line. Russell Maryland and Chester McLaughlin, both former Pro Bowlers. The linebackers have had trouble tackling. Speed is their forte, but they're not finishing plays. Greg Biekert, one of the leading tacklers on the team, is in the middle. And some age and experience and former Pro Bowlers in the secondary in McDaniel, Turner, and Albert Lewis. On second down, and going through is Mario Bates once again, who gets across midfield. He's spotted at the 49-yard line of the Raiders, so they go straight off the right side and pick up good yardage.
Here we're going to have Bates swing out to the right. This is what the Saints like. He's very quick. They give him a lot of room to be able to see the hole and then get up in there. Now Zeller goes up inside, gets a great block. When Bates sees where the hole is, he stops, cuts, plants, and he hits it down. The Raiders need to make sure he doesn't squirt through that line of scrimmage, because when he gets into the defensive backfield, he's got a lot of speed.
On 3rd and 2. Zellers pulls his way, and he is up very close. I believe he has the first down as he's down all the way to the 46-yard line. Good second effort by Ray Zellers. Keeps the drive alive for New Orleans.
And that's what the Saints want to do now. They want to sustain drives. This particular drive started out at 2nd and 8. They only gained 2 yards on first down. But a key to the Saints offense today, good yardage on first down. Part of the reason that the Saints are one of the most sacked teams in the NFL is that they have 2nd and long, 3rd and long more than most other teams in the league. They need to make sure they aren't in that situation today.
And they need something good to happen on offense. We have some movement along the line of scrimmage as Mario Bates is stood up by Anthony Smith and flung out of bounds. He doesn't like it either, but he's on the wrong sideline to start anything right in front of the Raider bench. Flags are down on the play, but I believe that there was some movement on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Let's see if they're pulled off. They have one of many conferences that you see in this day and age in the NFL, but
well, these
guys usually get it right.
Well, different guys see different things down there. Right now, what they're seeing, those in the first series, this is the 2nd penalty already. One thing that Danny Abramowitz told us, offensive coordinator of the Saints, is that they've had 5 opening drives this year that have ended with a turnover. The Saints offense has. They've had another 5 turnovers on first down. Saints don't want to be committing penalties here. They want to make sure that they do things in a consistent fashion. They don't need to light up the world. They don't need to even go down and score a touchdown right away. They just want to be consistent.
On the defense, this penalty is declined. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, on the offense, number 24. That penalty is accepted. 15 yards previous spot, still first down.
See, Eric, now I don't know if bad teams have things like that because they're bad teams, or if they have penalties like that because they're bad teams. What am I trying to say, Eric?
You're trying to say that bad teams get calls like this.
Well, you know, but are they bad because they get calls like this? Or let's take a look at the offsides here, Eric. Let's just watch the tape roll. And yeah, there goes Anthony Smith. He jumps across. He thought that William Rofe had moved, so he tried to fake the ref into thinking by just jumping across and touching him, but the ref knew that he couldn't do that.
Later in that play, what the officials obviously didn't see was Smith kind of tossing Mario Bates out of bounds like a sack of trash, but they saw the retention by Bates, and we have another flag on the play.
Oh, that's the 3rd flag of the day, opening drive. Pack a lunch, baby.
I believe the preliminary indication will be a delay of game penalty against Heath Schuler and the Saints. So they'll take it 5 yards further back.
Now, Eric, think about that. A delay of game penalty that comes after a timeout because of a penalty. You have delay of game usually when you've got a play late coming in. Here's Danny Abramowitz looking down there going, this is my offense. Holy smokes. Already 3 penalties in the first drive.
3 wide receivers set up for Mike Ditka's Saints on first down, and you read it correctly, 30 from their own 34. The draw play. And they get it up to around the 40-yard line. Russell Maryland on the stop there as he brings down Ray Zellers.
The Raiders aren't sacking that many people this year. Now they've got the Saints, the most sacked team in the NFL, or just about, in a situation where they're 24. So right now you can expect Danny Abramowitz to protect his young offense. The Saints offense is having terrible confidence problems right now. They don't believe that they can move the ball and score. It's been almost a month since the Saints offense has scored. Don't look for Danny to do anything right now except be conservative, get out, and start over.
And they need something positive to the Saints offense. For the last couple of games, they haven't even moved across midfield very much. Schuler looking deep down the near side, and that one is almost intercepted as Eric Turner came over from his safety spot and had it right off his hands.
Okay, take a look at Morton. He is right here. Now, he's going to come around, and he is one of their best pass rushers. He shouldn't be inside as a linebacker. You know he's going to twist when he's in there. This is lack of recognition on the Saints offensive line's part. You never see a guy that small lined up over the guard like that.
Now on third down, long for the Saints, and you see their troubles on third down so far this year. 3rd and 24, they set up the screen. Mario Bates has it and finds a little room along the near sideline, gets across midfield before he's knocked out of bounds by Lorenzo Lynch at the 48-yard line of the Raiders. But the Raiders hold thanks to some New Orleans Saints penalties.
Okay, they're expecting another blitz. They came last time with a stunt. What's going to happen here is that Heath is going to go back to pass. You're going to have the center, Fontenot, and the left column come out, and they're going to get up and make some pretty good blocks. The problem is, though, there's too far to go. Bates gets some good blocks. He gains a lot of yards. The problem is it's 4th and too many.
And Mark Royals tried to pooch kick it and did pooch it a little bit, kicked it short, but got a really good bounce, and that one is saved. It rolls out of bounds at the Raider 3-yard line. Great athletic play by the gunner down there to make that one, and that is Dixon, who makes a great play to save things. We're still scoring in the first quarter. Raiders defense holds on with some help from New Orleans penalties, but Raiders not in great field position at their own 2, and George off the play fake from his own end zone. It's Napoleon Kaufman, and Kaufman gets it up to almost the 5-yard line, called a gain of 2, maybe 3 yards. It'll set up 2nd and 7. Mark Fields made the tackle.
We talked to Wayne Martin, defensive tackle of the Saints, yesterday, and he said that one of the things that he thought he could get on, here's Martin right here, or check that right here. The right guard, Lester Holmes of the Raiders, is this outside move. He thought he could break down Lester Holmes's outside hand, get by him to pressure the quarterback. First pass in this series, he does it successfully.
Napoleon Kaufman, and Kaufman met hard as he crossed the 5-yard line, and he went down in a hurry as some Saints laid some heavy shoulder pads into Napoleon Kaufman. Kaufman coming off a week where he had only 16 yards and 10 carries against the tough Carolina Panther defense, but he comes in just 8 yards short of a 1,000-yard campaign.
Napoleon Kaufman, a scary back, a lot like Barry Sanders, in that once he gets into the backfield, once he breaks that line of scrimmage, he can go all the way, and he's got a lot of touchdowns for a long distances. So the Saints are trying to bottle him up.
3rd down and 5 for the Raiders from their own 7. Quick pass, and Jeff George finds Ricky Dudley as tight end. Dudley with that second effort as he's being brought down by Mark Fields, might have stretched out and gotten the first down. And they do. They get the first down. Joe Bugle likes it. Mike Ditka does not.
Ricky Dudley, former basketball player at Ohio State. Here he is right here. It's just a simple route. He's big enough to take on the linebacker's chuck, and the linebacker Fields was the one who actually had to regroup. Dudley, he lettered for 3 years at Ohio State in basketball, only 2 years in football.
And Eric Allen was telling us as well that he's got a mean streak as well. He said you rarely find the combination tight end. One can block. Rarely do you have both, and rarely do you get one that's mean. And that was a pitch play to Napoleon Kaufman, who was racked up by Eric Allen on the play. Speaking of the 6-time Pro Bowler.
Let's take a look at what Eric Allen does on this play. He's going to come into the picture now over here. And there's penetration by the Saints defense, and Eric Allen comes in and penetrates as well. This is what Zaven Uralian, defensive coordinator, said he wanted to do: disrupt by penetrating.
And he certainly did that time. Allen, who also has 5 interception returns for touchdowns in his career. Kaufman right now 4 carries, just 2 yards, and Jeff George steps up into the pocket. Boy, it looked like he was throwing that one away, and they rule the catch is out of bounds. as he found James Jett on the near side of the field, but the catch ruled out of bounds. So another 3rd down and long situation coming up for the Raiders, which the New Orleans Saints told us they wanted.
One of the reasons they didn't want to have 2nd and 3rd and long is to make sure they kept drives alive, and you don't keep drives alive when you are just out of bounds. That's a great effort by Jett right there. I mean, his knee was almost in. I think he was just bobbling the ball as he was going out. But they've got to sustain drives here so their defense doesn't get worn out.
On 3rd down and long, and plenty of movement as Tim Brown in the slot took off before the snap.
Well, Jeff George with the hard count. He knows right now at 3rd and 11, he'd much rather have 3rd and 6. It looks like they're going to end up at 3rd and 16 after this.
Flag down on the play.
False start offense. Number 1. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Eric, what's interesting to me about the 3rd down desires of both of these offenses, that both offenses need to gain more on 3rd down, to convert more 3rd downs. Both offenses are in the bottom 3 in the NFL, but for different reasons. The Raiders, because they need to sustain drives to keep their defense off the field. They score a lot of points. The Saints, because they can't do anything offensively.
The Raiders with 3 wide receivers in the game. And George to pass on 3rd and long. Has plenty of time in the pocket. Now he's flush. And look at the arm strength of Jeff George. He finds Ricky Dudley down across the 35-yard line. It'll be a 1st down, and that shows you the arm strength of one Jeff George.
And that shows you something that the Saints are not surprised about at all. The Saints defensive players and staff that we talked to yesterday said that when it's 3rd and relatively long, you can look for Dudley, you can look for Tim Brown. Now, Jeff George, he's going to buy time, but there's 2 guys he's looking for in 3rd and long. One is Tim Brown, and guess who's over here but the former Ohio State Buckeye basketball player, Ricky Dudley.
Dudley getting a little push off against Anthony Newman, the strong safety, and right his way open. He is certainly big enough, 6'6", 255 pounds, and has the speed to get downfield. Speaking of speed, is Napoleon Kaufman. The ball might have popped loose there, and the Saints say they have it. Saints do have it. Napoleon Kaufman turns it over, and the Saints get the first big break of the game. Their offense will take over 1st and 10 on the Raider 39. Sammy Knight came away with the football.
Here's Mike Dickett telling Heath Schuler, okay, buddy, all we need is a 1st down. We can score for the first time in a month. Just throw it to a guy in a white jersey. We'll get some points here. Heath is excited now. The Saints defense has been doing this for them all season long, putting him in fairly decent field position. But it's been a long time since they've even crossed the 50-yard line, let alone been in the red zone. Now here's the fumble. He pulls across and traps Mickle. Nice trap, but Kaufman gets up inside, and when Tubbs hits him, he doesn't go down right away. So Tubbs has the ability to strip that ball because Kaufman is held up by the pile.
And we have a timeout for New Orleans, so they didn't get that first situation in terms of offensive plays figured out. They will when we come back. The converted linebacker in his college days comes up with the fumble recovery. Winfred Tubbs was in there along with Joe Johnson to force the fumble, and the Saints have the ball in great shape at the Raider 38-yard line. Napoleon Kaufman there also off to a rough start. 5 carries, 4 yards, and a fumble. Bates is in motion as the Saints take over in great shape. And Schuler. John Farquhar was not looking for it, and Eric Turner will have nightmares about this one for a long time. That's right in his hands, and a possibility at a long return for a touchdown if he holds on to that one, Trevor.
Well, that is exactly what he's telling to Heath. Throw it to one of our guys. What's going to happen is it's going to hit Farquhar, but he's not really looking for it here. He's double covered. It glances off Farquhar, and his Turner right in the hands. I don't think Farquhar thought that he could possibly throw him the ball when he had one Raider underneath and he had Turner over the top. That's why he wasn't looking. He thought, hey, I'm not getting this ball. What quarterback would throw me this? Number 5.
On 2nd down and 10. Pitch play to Bates. Bates doesn't have room to go, and Greg Biekert was the first one there to bring him down. So the Saints having problems moving it on offense. Heck, the last couple of games they've had problems just crossing midfield. Look at that, Trevor. I mean, this was unbelievable when we saw this statistic last night.
Look at this. 22 possessions, 0 times in the red zone, 7 times cross midfield. Florida State could cross midfield board 7 out of 22. But the reason for that is that they just don't make plays that are there. When there's an open receiver, he drops the ball, he's not hit, there's a sack, there's a penalty. The Saints don't have a rhythm right now offensively.
They need to make a play now on 3rd and 11. Schuler tries to step up in the pocket, and down he'll go. Lance Johnstone got a hand on him. Russell Maryland and Anthony Smith clean up.
Lance Johnstone, a key to the Raiders pass rushing. He's been out for a couple of weeks. Now he's finally back, and he gives the front four the ability to pressure the quarterback. Johnstone's going to come from right here. He's just going to come around the corner and ends with speed. And what that allows is Smith to sack Heath as he steps up.
Mark Royals with the punt. Desmond Howard signals fair catch at his own 15-yard line, and that is where the Raiders will take over on offense. We've had a defensive showdown so far, more the first quarter in a moment. See him, and the Raiders hoping to get something going on offense as their defense holds after the Saints pick up a fumble of Napoleon Kaufman's and are in good at the Oakland 38-yard line, but the Raider defense stiffens and forces a punt, and Jeff George and company take over. Napoleon Kaufman on the pitch, and he doesn't have much room to run at all. In fact, he might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. So the Saints so far very effective in shutting down the speedster Napoleon Kaufman, who's had plenty of long runs this year.
Tubbs right here is faking a blitz. And he's going to come around. This is a run blitz. The reason they're doing this is they expect the Raiders to run. They're trying to stack up the middle. So Tubbs gets a little extra head start as he gets through there. Had he started from his regular position back at middle linebacker, he couldn't have gotten there.
We have an injured Oakland Raider down on the field. We'll check that status when we return to Alameda County Coliseum in a moment. His own power. That might be good news for the Raiders, trying to walk off the... Looks like he's favoring the right leg. And the Raiders, of course, starting fullback can return. So on 2nd down and 10, as Napoleon Kaufman was held to no gain on that first play. He'll get it again on the play fake, and Jeff George comes to the near side, and wide open is Tim Brown on the crossing route. And Brown gets it all the way out to the 35-yard line before he was forced out of bounds by Sammy Knight. Good pickup of 20 yards on the play for the Raiders.
Tim Brown ran a long ways to catch that pass. And this is what the Raiders are good at doing. They pick up yardage in big gouges. They need to make sure they pick up yardage in little gouges too, because you score a lot of points when you can move the ball that fast. So here comes Tim Brown. He comes across and he runs a long ways to catch that ball. But one thing that he's exceptional at is getting in between the zone, finding the open spot, which is what he did right there.
That was the Pro Bowler's 45th first down reception of the year. And here's another. Brown diving up toward the 45-yard line. He'll be about a yard short of the first down there.
The Raiders finally starting to get something going. Jeff George handed the ball to Napoleon McCallum a couple of times. Didn't work out. As we look at Zaven Uralian, the defensive coordinator of the Saints. Then he threw the ball to Dudley a couple of times. That worked. Now he's finding that Tim Brown is able to get in between the zones of the New Orleans Saints secondary. That's working well. So Jeff George is spreading the ball around, finding what'll work, and look for him to continue to go with those things.
2nd and very short, much more advantageous position for any offense. And now Jeff George doesn't like what he sees with the play clock running down. He's going to take a timeout, come over and talk it over with Joe Bugle and his coaches, coordinator Ray Perkins. George right now 6 of 7 for 77 yards as he'll get the 2nd and short play from Joe Bugle. We'll come back with more of the first quarter in a moment. Sideline that he wanted. 2nd down and very short for the Raiders. And off another play fake. George now flushed from the pocket, and he just had to throw that one away as he had someone in his face, Joe Johnson. Right now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Eric and Trevor, before the season, Denver was looking for a backup corner and a return specialist. They got them both in Darian Gordon. Take a look in the snow at Mile High. Good traction for Gordon. 82 yards to pay dirt. Denver on top of the Panthers by a touch, that in the first. Back up to Oakland, Eric Clemens and Trevor Maddish.
Now, JB, we got much better weather here in Oakland. Denver, some snow was falling earlier, as I saw. And now we got movement. sides of the football. I think the Raiders, though, move first. So 3rd and 1 will likely turn into 3rd and 6.
Napoleon Kaufman pointed at himself. He knows he jumped.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 26, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Here's Napoleon right here. He gets the hard count, and yet, whoa, he jumped. You know, he may have been the one to get the ball on that play because he's pretty excited about getting out of there. Well, now they're back at 3rd and long, where they don't want to be.
The update on Derek Finner, the starting fullback. He has a right ankle injury. His return is questionable. Now 3rd and 6 for the Raiders with their 3 wide receiver set. George, quick strike, and that one is almost intercepted. Mark Fields was all over Ricky Dudley, the tight end, and it took a while to hit the ground, incomplete. George wanted pass interference, but the officials say nothing to him.
Eric, every 3rd down pass so far today from Jeff George has gone to Tim Brown or to Ricky Dudley. Let's take a look. There's Dudley. He's in the 5-yard chuck zone. And the reason this isn't interference is that he was chucked early in that pass route. When the ball was in the air, the chucking was stopping. There was a bit of leaning, but it was enough of a gray area to not have the penalty called.
Leo Araguz will strike this one from his 30. High end over end, punt coming down to Eric Gulliford at his 17. Gulliford brought down after a very short return across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now coming up this Tuesday, the most explosive diehard of all comes to the New Orleans Saints take advantage of a key Raider penalty on 3rd and short.
You know, Eric, look at the shoulder pad right here. How come the Raiders always seem to have their uniforms all over the place except for on?
And we get more movement along the line. Another flag down. Mario Bates carrying this one, getting to the corner. I'm sorry, it's Ray Zellers. Check that. And Zellers gets across.
Upside potential.
On a nice 1st down play, Schuler on the play fake, rolls it out and hits his tight end, Irv Smith. And Smith, with the 2nd effort, gets out across the 42 to the 40.
The other is that he's a young guy.
Mario Bates trying to get outside. He loses his footing a little bit and gets up to the 45-yard line. Call it a pickup of 2.
Inside run.
2nd down and 8 now for Heath Schuler in the offense. Hastings is in motion, and the give again to Mario Bates. And Bates across the 45-yard line up to about the 46. Very short gain on that play will set up 3rd and long for New Orleans. And that will do it for the 1st quarter. That's the end of the quarter with the score New Orleans 0 and the Raiders 0. We'll return here to Oakland Coliseum in a moment. But can't convert offensively. They got it back in good position. And the pass intended for Randall Hill. He was covered by James Trapp, but it was a little bit overthrown. And now the Saints will be forced to punt it once again.
Once again, Mike Morton, their linebacker, on the pressure. Came around the offensive right side, put pressure on Heath Schuler. He couldn't hit the receiver. He had him open. And this is where the Saints offensive coaching staff is pulling their hair out. I mean, Mike Ditka still got some hair there. He's got a lot to pull out. But I'll tell you what, plays that are there that don't get finished.
And Desmond Howard back deep to receive this punt. Howard's going to take it at his 12. And Howard almost broke that one into dangerous territory if you're a New Orleans Saint fan. Instead, he's brought down at the 22, where the Raiders will take over on somebody who wants to try to get something going. Let's see if it'll be the Raiders when we come back. Raiders will take over 1st and 10 on their own 21-yard line. And the pitch to Napoleon Kaufman. Kaufman gets around the corner, but we have a flag thrown on the play in the area of holding against the offense. Let's see what the preliminary signal is.
No, it's not holding, Eric. James Jett came by and cut the defensive end. That's right, illegal chop block. At the same time, the left tackle, Harlow, was engaged with him. James Jett came across in motion from the right side, and his job was to seal inside. The problem is the first body he saw. Okay, if you look right here. Okay, here's 22 Harvey Williams. Harvey Williams is coming across. Well, it wasn't Jet, it was Williams. That's what he did, though. Pat Harlow had Johnson engaged on the block. Harvey Williams came in, hit him low. You can't do that. What Harvey Williams had to do was wait until Johnson was disengaged from Pat Harlow before he could chop block him. Now, Harvey Williams could legally have hit him high, hit him in the hip, hit him in the shoulder. He can't hit him in the knee as long as Harlow is still connected with him.
So the penalty after a good positive game by Napoleon Kaufman pushes Oakland back to 1st and 20 from their 12-yard line. And George on the quick pattern, that one he was looking for Ricky Dudley, and it was off his shoulder pads, it looked like, and incomplete. Ray Perkins, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders. Only 4 rushing yards so far, 77 passing, but they haven't sustained anything so far against the number 4 rated defense of the New Orleans Saints.
No, and the Saints know that Jeff George is going to look to Dudley, and he's going to look to Tim in trouble. Right now they're going to focus on those guys, and it's worked.
And the delay to Napoleon Kaufman, who gets some room as he gets to the interior of the line of scrimmage and goes out to about the 14-yard line. Still sets up 3rd and very long for the Oakland Raiders.
So I wonder why on earth they would make a call like that. You've got a deep strike offense, you've got 2nd and forever, and you run a play that you know isn't going to get more than 5, 6, 7 yards. You'd think that they'd want to throw it deep down the sideline. Try James Jett in this. Haven't thrown the ball his way yet.
And to their credit, with a Kaufman who's broken so many long runs this year, you give him the football sometimes, and it can turn into an 80 to 90-yard touchdown run. On 3rd and very long, Jeff George throws deep down the seam and has Ricky Dudley as tight end out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Rob Kelly finally brought him down, but another first down play for the Raiders.
Xavier Urelian not very happy about that. Crazy. You're going to look at Dudley right here. He's going to get into that deep zone as he runs down the field, and Kelly is respecting the speed of Jet. He's respecting the speed of Brown. Now he's way over here when Dudley catches that ball, so there's a ton of room for him to get inside, get a lot of space to catch that ball. There's no reason in the world that there should be that much space in between those zones. Not for Ricky Dudley, who they know is going to try to split him.
George trying to get away from the blitz, and down he goes, and the pass is incomplete right now. McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Eric, Carolina had an illegal man downfield, had to repunt. Guess what? To Darian Gordon. Guess what? Not a replay. He burns him with a 75-yard punt return. Second man this season to have 2 returns for a touchdown. Eric Metcalf did it. Will he become the first with 3? We'll find out. Back to Eric and Trevor.
Wow, Darian Gordon taking them all the way back on punts. Oakland's average to go on 3rd down so far in this game is 11 yards. They've converted 3 of 5. But right now on 2nd down, Dudley's open down the seam once again, and he'll try to shed Kelly as he does. Gets down inside the 10-yard line. Ricky Dudley, another big catch down the seam for the Raiders. We have a flag on the play.
Well, Rob Kelly, their 2nd-round draft choice this year, rookie playing for rookie Sammy Knight, who's been starting. And Mike Ditka, Xavier Ularian not happy about this. Dudley is stretching the field in there, and once again, Kelly is way far away from the guy that he knows Jeff George is going to be looking for. That's the kind of thing that will make Mike Ditka just go crazy, and right now Mike Ditka doesn't need to go crazy. His blood pressure is plenty high enough. Look at the color red on that guy's face too. I mean, that's a pretty color when you think about it. You just want the volume down when he's doing the things that make him have that color. That's his defensive coordinator right there. He's saying, why didn't you tell that guy Dudley was getting the ball? And Zabin says, you know what? That's all we've been telling him all week. 3rd down and long, Dudley gets the ball, Brown gets the ball. Until somebody else does, focus on those guys.
And Ricky Dudley with 4 catches, 115 yards so far. And Rob Kelly, who Coach Ditka told us the other day would see a lot of action today, give him more speed back there. So far, his speed hasn't been utilized, as Dudley a couple of big catches on this drive. 1st and goal to go for the Raiders. And George to put it upstairs again, goes in zone, and that one deflected away, incomplete. Ricky Dudley was the intended target on that one, and Anthony Newman was there on the cover.
Dudley's got that big body. Basketball experience. Here's Dudley right here. He's going to go in and box out as if he were a forward boxing out for a rebound. That's all he's going to do. He's a lot bigger than most defensive backs. Look at that. Hey, give me the rebound. But guess what? An arm gets stuck in there and he can't make the catch. But that's all he's trying to do is play basketball, Eric.
He played that pretty well. Led her 3 times at Ohio State. And a give to Kaufman. Going to try to beat the Saints to the corner. Will not. Good tackle in there by Anthony Newman. Flags are down on the play. They might catch him for a face mask.
You know what? Wisniewski and once again, Harvey Williams could be called here for an illegal shot block again. Wisniewski pulled around to his left. Harvey Williams came in to help out. I don't know if the ref saw it this time, but it was the exact same thing that Harvey Williams did with Harlow a little while ago. Nope, refs didn't see it.
Face mask against Newman, who was vehemently protesting that I grabbed inside the shoulder pad, not the face mask.
Well, Newman's one of the biggest defensive backs in the NFL, and as Kaufman comes around here, yeah, I don't know if I would call that.
5 yards only. Number 33.
I don't think I would call that. I mean, the 5-yard face mask penalty is designed so that if it's inadvertent and the guy's head doesn't snap around, you can still call the face mask penalty. But Newman is complaining that he didn't get the face mask at all. He got the inside of the shoulder pad. His finger did hook the end of Kaufman's face mask. It didn't do anything. This is football, for goodness sake, and sometimes things like that are going to happen. That's not what the penalty's for.
So second down to be repeated.
Yeah.
2 tight ends now in for the Raiders, and George. That one deflected at the line of scrimmage and almost intercepted as Richard Harvey got a big hand up and batted that one away, so it'll be 3rd down and goal to go.
Okay, here's Harvey right here. He's going to go ahead and rush up inside and get a hand up there. Yep. Didn't have to do a whole lot, but see, Dudley in that situation was blocking at the tight end. What you want to do to keep a pass rusher's hands down is put your hands in his chest and drill him. He'll get his hands down. He'll protect himself.
On 3rd and goal to go, 3 wide receivers in for the Raiders. And George looking in zone again, fires it, and we have a flag down on the play as that one is in and out of the hands of Dudley, who was double covered that time. And some of the Saints on the ground clapping. Let's see what the call will be here.
Well, both head coaches are wondering what's going to be called here.
Pass interference, defense. Number 55. That's an automatic first down.
Mark
Dudley,
Fields.
he's about 6'5", 6'6", 255. Once again, he's trying to do his little basketball. Fields goes ahead and wraps his arms around his waist and tackles him. You can chunk out there, but you can't tackle a guy.
Fields has been issued a challenge by his coaches this week to follow Dudley around, impede his progress at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. He was there that time, but got caught for the interference penalty, and up and over the top is Harvey Williams for the touchdown. And the Raiders break the ice here at Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. They lead it 6-0.
Well, Mike Ditka's saying, hey, folks, this has been here before. Now we're down 7-0. Holy smokes. This touchdown, give credit to Ricky Dudley. He's the one that made the big receptions on 3rd and very long that got him down into scoring position. And until those strikes to Dudley, the Raiders offense has done absolutely nothing. He didn't score that touchdown. He'll get credit for it.
Ricky Dudley, the man taking congratulations on that one. 2 big catches on the drive, set up a touchdown by Williams, and Cole Ford's extra point is up and through. So the Raiders go on top, striking first blood, leading it 7-0 here in the 2nd quarter. More from Oakland when we come back. Touchdown drive, helping to set up Harvey Williams, plunge in from a yard away and give the Raiders a 7-0 lead. And now Cole Ford set to kick it deep to Eric Gulliford, who has a 102-yarder for a touchdown in the game, the opener against St. Louis this season. And Ford strikes this one. Gulliford will go at least 5 yards deep into his end zone and down it right there. The Saints will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. They trail it 7-0. The Saints drive when we come back to Oakland. Raiders draw first blood, going in to take a 7-0 lead. Heath Shuler and the New Orleans Saints will try to answer. Saints just trying to get any consistency at all on offense, and of course waiting in the wings. Maybe Doug Nussmeier on your right. Number 13, he's the number 2 quarterback. The last couple games, Danny Werfel, the 3rd quarterback for Iron Mike Ditka today, who, boy, if he could get out there and play, I'm sure he would right now. He is a strong-willed man, to say the least. On first down, Shuler flushed. He'll keep it and go out of bounds at the 21-yard line, so call it a pickup of a yard. And the Saints, of course, Coach Ditka trying to find some spark there on offense with the quarterback.
Well, Ditka told us that Shuler would start today because he thought that he would give the Saints the best win today. He's the most athletic quarterback of the 3. But he said, don't be surprised if the lefty came in, Doug Nussmeier. If he doesn't move the team any better now, there will be a quick hook. Ditka right now is in a mindset like a baseball manager. Flip pitchers in and out at will.
Nussmeier right now not warming up in the bullpen, so to speak. And on the delay play and nowhere to go on that one. Thrown for a loss. Chester McLaughlin, one of the first Raiders, hit Ray Zellers. And Anthony Smith cleaning up on the play, so a loss of about a yard or 2 on the play will set up another 3rd down and long situation.
Here's Anthony Smith over here working on Willie Rowe. What he's going to do is get penetration. We talked earlier, Eric, about how the Raiders defense needed to show up and play hard. They needed to make tackles and finish plays. Well, in this game, they're playing with a frenzy. That Raiders defense is playing now like they did against Denver a couple of weeks ago when they shut down John Elway and the Broncos.
Anthony Smith, the leading sacker on that Raider defensive line, coming 5.5. Got some help from Albert Lewis on that one. Blitz is on. Shuler gets away, guns it downfield, and it is incomplete off the hands of his intended target, Eric Gulliford. Terry McDaniel was in there on the coverage along with Perry Carter.
Well, Danny Abramowitz told us about days like this. Heath Shuler knows that finally he made a great play here. Heath Shuler avoids the blitz. He drills the ball that goes right through the receiver's hands. And this is what Abramowitz told us about last night. He said, you know, we got balls, receivers. They hit the receivers, they go through their hands. The receiver's open, the ball isn't there.
Mark Royals on the punt, sending Desmond Howard back to his 28-yard line. Howard has a seam, and he dives up across the 45 to the 47. Almost broke that one. Desmond Howard almost broke a couple last week against Carolina as well, but Oakland will be in great shape at their own 47-yard line when we return in just a few moments. House of death if you go against the Raiders and their fans.
Eric,
what would you say? A few cans short of a 6-pack?
These guys aren't kidding. They go to work this way. I mean, you think these guys dress up. No, they don't.
Raiders in great shape at their own 47-yard line after the 20-yard return by Desmond Howard on the punt. And George has all kinds of time. Now he's finally beginning to run out of it and throws it away. Nobody over on the far side of the field. He was pressured heavily by Darren Mickle. Now it's time for our Aflac trivia question, as the Saints want an intentional grounding penalty, I should say. Who was the last NFL team to be shut out 3 consecutive games? Of course, the Saints knocking on that door so far today. We'll give you the answer in just a little while. What do you think?
I
history of
don't know.
I'm guessing Tampa Bay maybe, back in that terrible team. And certainly Mike Ditka doesn't care right now. He wanted intentional grounding against Jeff George on that particular play.
It looks like a Christmas tree. I mean, if you look at the black that stops, the red that starts with his neck right there, that's, you know, he's passionate. Give him that.
On 2nd and 10, George to put it upstairs again, and he tried to hit Chad Levitt out of the backfield. That one incomplete, a little bit low, so it'll be another 3rd and long situation for the Raiders.
3rd and long. The story has been this game, 3rd and long. Jeff George goes to Ricky Dudley or he goes to Tim Brown. So far it's been mostly Dudley.
Have I heard you say that before?
Yes, but that is what's happening. And that's been the story. And they've not stopped it yet. And until they do, the Raiders will keep going to it, and we got to call what we see. This is up to the Saints. Don't blame the messenger, baby.
Saints showing blitz. They bring 7 to the line of scrimmage. And George trying to step up into the pocket, and now He goes down. Nobody open down the field, and the Saints will come up with the sack. Came into this game with 34 of them, and Jeff George goes down on 3rd and long. Not anybody open.
Pressure's going to come from pretty much everybody here. The Saints bring a zone blitz, and there's nowhere to throw the ball downfield. Jeff George is saying, hey, you know, I see the zone blitz coming. I see the linebackers come off the edge, but somebody get open for me down there, and nobody did.
Raiders averaging almost 9 yards to go on 3rd down so far in the game. Mickle gets credited with that sack, and Leo Araguz gets away the punt. Lorenzo Lynch and some extracurricular activity. A couple of Saints back at the 35. We have a couple of flags down at the 30. So let's see what the call will be back here around where Leo Araguz got the punt away.
Well, Araguz is clapping his hands. Well, I don't know why.
We have a preliminary roughing the kicker penalty, and we also have a penalty against the Raiders, though it looked like personal foul. It might have been against Lorenzo Lynch.
Well, the Saints tried to come with the block this time around.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker on the defense, number 56. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, number 43. The penalty's offset. 4th down again.
Well, that's fitting for this game, isn't it? 2 offsetting penalties on a punt. On a punt. Okay, what's going to happen is one of the Saints is going to come around like this, trying to block this punt. He gets picked up inside by Biekert, and as they, oh, yeah. You can't run into the kicker's foot like that. And he comes down, is completely helpless. And I'm not one to really like kickers, but you don't want to beat them up on the football field. What you want to do is jump them, you know, in training camp and tape them up and put them in a laundry hamper or something. You know, but you can't do that. Looks like the Saints are coming with another block attempt.
Ernest Dixon was the guy who got close that time and ran into the kicker, but the penalty's offset. Araguz gets that one away. We have another flag down on the play. Hold your horses. Gulliford takes it up to about the 25-yard line. In fact, I see 3 flags down on the field right now, so let's see the sort this one out.
Well, Lorenzo Lynch just shoved, didn't shove, he drilled Sammy Knight right in the chin. Mike Ditka's going, holy smokes, fellas, it's not training camp. We've been long enough into the season now.
Holding against the receiving team, the Saints.
Well, it's going to work out best for the Raiders. This isn't a matter of which team can make the future.
Yeah, 1 year removed from the Super Bowl victory they got
1980. Jim Plunkett.
Jim Plunkett leading the way that time.
Well, so much for silver and black in those 3 games. Black and blue.
New Orleans for 123 minutes and 30 seconds coming into the game. We're now at 144 and 9 and ticking as soon as they snap the ball.
You know, though, don't time that with a clock, Eric. With a calendar, you need to time how long it's been since they've scored. It's been almost a month since New Orleans has scored.
And the Raider fans urging their defense to make something happen as the Saints start deep in their own territory and trying to get away with nowhere to go. Darrell Russell, the first one to hit Ray Zellers in the backfield. Greg Biekert, Morton clean up on that one as they lose about 3 yards or 4 yards maybe even on the play.
Here's Darrell Russell right here. He's going to go right up, get a lot of penetration. McCollum's going to come on the other side, and whoa, wait a minute, you're not supposed to be there. There's nothing that McCollum can do in that situation, and Russell doesn't make the tackle on that, but he gets credit for making the play on that. 21 years old. When did this guy turn 23?
Just a baby at 21, turned it in May. And Heath Schuler has to get rid of that one to save. He was under heavy pressure. Anthony Smith was back there along with Greg Biekert, who was coming from his linebacker spot, and he got that one away just to save his own neck.
I don't know there's much he can do to save his own neck now. This isn't Heath Schuler's fault. Biekert's going to come from right here. He's just going to come around the side. It's very simple. And what happens here is that the tackle and the guard on the right side need to switch off. The end that was playing over the right tackle slanted inside. The guard needs to pick him up. The tackle come off, pick up Biekert as he comes around the end now. They didn't do that. 2 offensive linemen on a defensive tackle. A linebacker scot-free.
So on 3rd and 14, Schuler looking deep down the seam, and he overthrows it, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Dan Land. And Land still on his feet inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. We have a flag on the play, but the Raider fans get their big play from the defense. Let's see what the flag is.
On the Saints sideline right now, there's a feeling of here we go again.
Saint players are pointing at the Raiders as if they...
Oh, is that a stroke of luck?
But was it before the interception or afterward is the big question here.
Personal foul on the intercepting team, number 51. The foul occurred during the return, 15 yards, first down.
So instead of being inside the 20-yard line, they'll be pushed back a bit, but the turnover counts. And the Oakland Raiders come up with another big play as Dan Land.
Okay, Land, number 25. They're going to over and under here. Heath Schuler is going to go back to pass, and for once he's got decent protection. But he lofted the ball up so high that Land had time to move over and pick that ball off. Ordinarily, a ball like that would need to be drilled in there, but he wasn't able to, just because the Raiders had a DB underneath the receiver. Land has time to come over and pick off the balloon.
Jeff George gives it to Napoleon Kaufman, who has a little room on the right side. And Kaufman gets down to the 29-yard line, picked up close to 5 yards on the play.
Saints defense right now walking around. They've been playing very well so far today. They'll continue to play hard, and they'll continue to play well as they have all year. One of the things that amazes me about this unit is that ordinarily a team ranked as high as 4th in the NFL, as the Saints defense is, has offensive support with time of possession and points. These guys have no support at all. You've got to give them credit for hanging in and playing tough.
Napoleon Kaufman again. Kaufman bent hard and bent backwards after he picked up maybe a yard or two on the play. And this is what they told us they wanted to do with him. Keep him inside the box because they feel the first person that hits him can take him down.
They felt that the first person that would hit Kaufman, and here's Napoleon right here, he's going to go inside. What the Saints don't want him to do is break outside. In there, since he's not a big guy, he goes about, well, 188 or so. And look at his head into the Saints pulling some Raider on him. But if he's inside, they can bring him down. If he's outside, they can't catch him to bring him down.
On 3rd and 3, Saints blitzing, and that one caught. Good hand shown by Ricky Dudley.
Who caught that ball?
Ricky Dudley.
Ricky who?
Ricky Dudley.
Well, somebody tell the Saints defense they might throw the ball to Ricky Dudley on 3rd down.
That's something, a testament to his ability, though. Even though you know the ball's going to go there, he gets open, he gets that big body in front of defenders and comes up with the catch.
There's Dudley. Well, he turns around. There he goes. Block out. Yeah, he didn't even have to block time around. He just outrun Fields, and it was a good play on his part from a pass route standpoint, because as he went up, he made Fields respect him going up the field. Then he stopped and came back for the ball. Dudley actually created separation by running back towards Jeff George. Now, when he did that, he also brought himself short of the first down again. Then he had the presence of mind to turn back around and get close enough to the first down for a measure.
And boy, the knock against him last year was that he had hands of stone sometimes. He showed great hands and cut his body to make a catch on a big 3rd down play there. He has had some kind of afternoon. 5 catches for 116 yards, and that 3rd down play was the shortest distance the Raiders have had to go on 3rd down so far in the game.
Well, Eric, the problem last year, his rookie year, is that he's used to catching a basketball. Basketballs, as you know, are shaped funny. They're round. So it took him a year of dropping a football, getting used to a normal size ball, a normal shaped ball. Now this year, he's caught a lot of balls even today with his hands, stabbing them out of the air. So he's really maturing. They expect him to be a dominant on this team in the future.
Coach Joe Bugle told us the other day that he believes right now that Ricky Dudley is the best tight end going, and that includes the company of guys like Ben Coates of the Patriots. On 4th down and very short, Jeff George on the quarterback sneak. Saints feel that they've stopped him. The spot is all important here.
Yeah, the spot's all important. The lobbying goes on. I mean, if football players were as good at lobbying these refs as they thought they were, they'd all have jobs after football in Washington, D.C. The refs don't pay much attention to them. They're going to put it where they think.
It's going to be very close. And I'm not going to venture to guess that one. I would think, though, well, I'm going to guess. What the heck? I'm going to say he's got it by a couple inches.
They got some big studs in there, though, the Saints do, to stop this kind of a play. 99 P.O. Sangapolitelli goes about 300 pounds. Wayne Martin is listed at 275, but he's not. He's about 295. And yet the Raiders are able to drive him out just enough for Jeff George to reach that ball over. Jeff George's body didn't get the first down. He reached that ball over just for an instant. You can see on that replay before Tubbs was able to come in there and
converted by the Oakland Raiders. It'll be 1st and 10 on the New Orleans 24-yard line. On the play fake, George. And flags down. He has a man wide open. Tim Brown inside the 10-yard line, or right at the 10-yard line, but flags are down in the Raider backfield. And this time I'll say it's in the area what usually produces holding.
Holding, and it should not be holding either because they had maximum protection on this time. Ricky Dudley lined up on the left side at tight end.
Offense, number 72, 10 yards, still 1st down.
That's Lincoln Kennedy, the right tackle. Dudley was over on the other side, though, blocking and protecting. They had max protection on. You shouldn't have to hold when you keep that many bodies in to protect. Lincoln Kennedy, 6'6", 225. Now here's Lincoln right here, working against. Oh, yeah, he reached and grabbed him and tackled him. Now here's the problem. When you know as an offensive lineman that your quarterback is going to get hit by a guy that breaks free, you better hold him and tackle him just to save your quarterback's life.
George setting up the screen near side to Napoleon Kaufman. And Kaufman gets down to close to the 30-yard line before he's run out of bounds.
Eric, going back to Lincoln Kennedy's holding penalty, Jeff George hurt his ribs originally a couple of weeks ago against Denver. He was bent over kind of sideways, and it stretched his ribs out. It was aggravated last week against Carolina when Ronaldo Turnbull came in, and we thought he jumped off sides, Ronaldo Turnbull, but as it was, it wasn't called, and he bent Jeff George over. Lincoln Kennedy knows that his quarterback's ribs are sore and kind of tweaked right now. He wanted to make sure he'd take the penalty instead of allow another hit on Jeff George.
And everybody moving. Jeff George pulls away from the center without the ball. That brings the New Orleans Saints, who were guessing the snap count, offside. I believe this one will likely go against the Raiders, who we had found out under Joe Bugle had cut down the penalties by about 2 a game, but so far in this one, I believe this will be penalty number 6.
Ball start, number 3, offense. 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Well, the Raiders traditionally are the worst, the most penalized team in the NFL. One of Joe Bugle's focuses in training camp this year has been to cut down on penalties, and it has worked. They are now no longer the worst. They're about 27. So they're coming.
6th penalty call against the Raiders unofficially in the first half. We still got 5 minutes or so to go before halftime. And George trying to get away from some trouble. George comes near side and goes safely out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Bearing down on him from behind was Wayne Martin, and you see the penalties per game. Oakland up the ladder to 21st instead of down the ladder like they have been, of course, in years past.
Eric, they're a lot better than I thought.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, these guys are doing great. They're regular first-class citizens now.
The Raider mystique.
Last year they
here.
were last. But you know,
football.
The Raider mystique is you have unnecessary roughness penalties. They're jumping off sides here. That's a little different kind of mystique.
7 penalties, 66 yards for the Raiders so far here in the first half. And on 3rd down and long, George.
Come on, Jeff.
Got all day to throw the football. Now comes near side, has a man, and they rule he did not have control of it inbounds. James Jett, he was looking for on the near side. He still would have been about a yard or 2 short of 1st down yardage, so Cole Ford will come on and attempt a field goal.
You know, it's one thing to have patience in the pocket. It's another thing to have days and days back in the pocket. Look at Jeff George directing traffic out there. At the time, he's pointing at his receiver saying, you go over there. Oh, I'll throw over here to you. Now what happens on this side is Jeff George is seeing one receiver fall down and the other receiver catch the ball out of bounds.
Cole Ford will attempt this one from 43 yards out. He's only 2 of 6 from this distance so far this year, but make it 3 of 7 as that one goes right through, and the Raiders extend their lead to 10-0 over the New Orleans Saints. Saints who get the kickoff and try to get something going on the scoreboard when we come back. This one 4 yards deep in his own end zone. He'll bring it out and try to find a seam over on the left side. That ball came out after he had hit the ground. So he'll be ruled down by contact just about the 20-yard line. Tonight, coming up on Fox, secrets will be revealed. The world's funniest with JB, and then will Joe Namath help Bart Simpson win the championship? Is Bobby Hill the next supermodel? And the startling conclusion of the season premiere of The X-Files tonight. So many secrets, just one box. I'll be tuning into that X-Files, I think. One of my favorite shows.
Some of these Raider guys on X-Files. This guy, whoa!
They are subjects.
Does that hurt, by the way?
Mulder and Scully will be here in Oakland very soon, seeing characters like that. On first down, the Saints on the quick slant pattern. Schuler was looking for Andre Hastings, some contact with Albert Lewis, but they rule it incidental, so it'll go down as an incomplete pass.
Well, actually, Eric, the Saints have done pretty well today on first down. In the 2 weeks of the bye week, they've gone back to focus on the fundamental of getting a much better production on first down. As you look at Albert Lewis come in, the Saints have 49 total yards today. 40 of them have come on first down. So they have done fairly well. The problem is second and third down, they've failed miserably.
Second down and 10, and Schuler to put it upstairs again. Quick dump out of the backfield, and Zeller's lucky to hold on to that one because right on his heels was James Folston, who brought him down. On the tackle, a short gain of 4 yards. It'll set up third down and 6.
Well, the telling Heath in his headset right now, throw the ball short. A couple of times they've tried to throw it down the field. It's been either picked off or almost picked off. Almost every time they've tried to go medium or long with it. Heath right now is in a situation where the defense knows that they're going to crowd the shorter routes. That's why it's going to make it even tougher to throw those short routes.
4 wide receivers set in for the Saints. Schuler tons it to the far side. And do they rule that a catch? They do.
Oh, bad spot, though.
Andre Hastings caught it just a few inches short, and Mike is furious on the sideline, getting right into the official's face. He believes Hastings was knocked down by contact and rolled across the 30 to pick up the first down.
So they just can't. They're 3 and out again. See, in the last 6 possessions, they've been 4 times 3 and out. Okay, as you look at the guy in the slot here, he's going to move out, Hastings, and he's open for the first down, but look where the ball's thrown. You know, he had to go back there to get the ball. That's one of the things that the Saints have had the problem with.
But Albert Lewis didn't touch him until he had about across the 30-yard line.
Well, you know, I thought that the refs, knowing that this is the Saints, could have had a little humanity and just given it to him.
Well, on fourth down, taking a gamble here and bursting through the hole is Ray Zellers, and Zellers gets easily out across the 30 to the 34-yard line for a first down, and Mike Ditka says we better have gotten that half yard.
Well, if they didn't get that half yard, he would have pulled them off the field at halftime and sent them all home and dressed the cheerleaders for the second half. I mean, that's not a happy dude right there. Mike, you got the first down, but he's still not happy. But he's not happy because of execution. Again, the first down should have been gotten on the third down pass play. Receiver was open. Quarterback doesn't get the ball to him. Mike knows that. And right now, what's he going to tell Heath? You see, because Mike Ditka is not known as a guy who's really sweet and nice to quarterbacks. He's not too warm and fuzzy.
Mike Ditka and Heath Schuler talk about it at the 2-minute warning. Saints try to get on the board after this.
Napoleon Coffin right here has one of those little nose things on him to breathe. I don't think he's really had to breathe all that hard today. He's not too worried about things right now. Who is that guy? It's got a 5. Is that Heath Schuler?
No, he's out on the field.
No, if it is, he's gained weight.
Tall, Scully, Mulder, X-Files. We've got cloning going on here.
It's Nate Newton in Heath's uniform.
And Schuler stepping up in the pocket in some trouble, gets it away and has his man. And across the 44, almost out to the 45-yard line, first down yardage. Eric Gullifer on the catch and run. Good effort for the Saints as they're in the 2-minute hurry-up offense. On the scoreboard for the first time in about 2.5 games. Ray Zellers, nowhere to go that time. Chester McLaughlin, one of the first there to hit him, along with Anthony Smith.
Well, that didn't work, did it?
I think that Russell Maryland was the first to hit him. Russell and Chester, known for their girth inside. Timeout taken by the Saints, so Mike Ditka and company will try to get something going as their march continues. So in the first half, Saints 2-minute march continues. They have a 3 receiver set in the game now as Schuler on second down. Guns it over the middle, has his man, Albert Lewis, on the tackle.
Well, Eric, see that 50-yard stripe right there? Let's just call that the goal line for them. They're across it. No, that's mean, but they don't get across there very often.
And Schuler again, quick slant, first down yardage. And we have Randall Hill appeared to be shaken up after the catch, but he gets back up inside the 40 at the 38-yard line of Oakland. First down, New Orleans, and Schuler spikes it to stop the clock with 55 seconds to go here in the half. Coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime report, JB and Terry bring you the scores and highlights from around the league, and our not much wind out on the field here in Oakland, so he can hit them from a long distance. Schuler him closer, and he's in trouble, and Lance Johnstone flings him down for the sack. So that'll set up third and very long for the Saints, who are now out of field goal range. They hurry up back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down, 17. Schuler quickly gets it out to his back out of the backfield, Troy Davis. They'll keep the clock running. So it'll be fourth down. Now we finally get a timeout for the Saints. But as it stands right now, would be close to a 58-yard field goal attempt, or fourth down and 12 yards to go.
It's too far to try that field goal. If they miss it, they'll take it at the spot of the kick, not the previous line of scrimmage, and then the Raiders are just a couple of first down away from getting more points. What I expect them to do here is not take a shot at the end zone. I think what they'd best do is run Hastings and Hill deep and get John Farquhar involved. Now, he's the missing link right now in this Saints offense. Now,
three receivers in. Brett Besh, first-year man out of LSU. Four wide receivers into the game. And the quick deep out pattern is complete for first down yardage. Randall Hill making the catch. The clock keeps running, but the Saints get a key third down conversion there at the 27-yard line of Oakland. And another spike for Heath Schuler to stop the clock.
Now it worked out. That worked out for him. They didn't have the game. They're in 2-minute nickel package with four wide receivers in there, but you know, I thought it still would have been a good idea to have done it, but hey, you can't argue with success. They had their four wideouts in there, a good one-on-one pass route. Receiver gets open, quarterback hits him with the ball on time, first down.
First down from the 27-yard line. Saints, their deepest penetration so far of the ball game. And Schuler trying to buy some more time. Gets it away and has his receiver on the near side. He hits Fred McCrary, who's into the game, a reserve fullback, but McCrary might have lost a yard on the play.
Well, now it's time for that field goal. Heath Schuler did a great job that time of avoiding the rush. I didn't think he really needed to bug out of the pocket as soon as he did, but as much as people have been coming free on him when he saw a silver and black jersey flash, I don't blame him for. I don't blame Heath for bugging out on that play. What he did a great job of.
Will attempt this one from, call it 47 yards away, 2 for 3 on the year from this distance. Plenty of leg behind that one. It rockets off the screen, and it is good. So the New Orleans Saints break a long drought with that Doug Bryan 47-yard field goal to end the half. 153 minutes, 30 seconds. Their scoreless drought came.
And Eric,
coming up,
1981's Raiders streak is safe.
It certainly is. Dockers Khakis halftime report coming up after these messages on your Fox station. And see that well, the Raiders have a big edge in total yards and especially in passing yards.
Well, the difference is the quarterback. You've got Jeff George versus Heath Schuler. You've got a passing game that's able to make gouges against a passing game that has not been able to throw the ball, push the ball up the field. Time of possession's about the same. Turnovers about the same. Score 10-7. This is still a ball game, folks.
Very much a ball game. Key drive for Jeff George and the Raiders in the first half involved his big tight end and favorite target so far today, Ricky Dudley. Dudley in the only touchdown drive of the first half. The big tight end out of Ohio State.
And I give him a lot of credit for that drive because the Saints defense knew that they had to Dudley stop Brown.
Here's Ricky Dudley involved in this 52-yard reception down the seam. He almost shakes off Rob Kelly there and goes all the way in. He was also involved in a couple other key plays that resulted in penalties. And then Harvey Williams getting some action at the halfback spot, goes up and over from 1 yard out. And the Raiders at that time had a 7-0 lead. They've made it 10-3 at the half.
But Eric, the story of this game right now is that neither team is doing what they want to do on first down. The Raiders wanted to do better on first down to sustain. Well, guess what? Their touchdown drive was gotten in big gouges. They haven't sustained drives, haven't done well enough on first down. The Saints, conversely, have done pretty well on first down, but have had a breakdown on second down and third down. So right now, the Raiders are looking to get more consistency on first down to drive the ball. The Saints are looking to get any consistency at all doing anything, because right now, they are the ones that are stopping themselves.
Cole Ford to kick it deep to Eric Gulliford, and Gulliford will field this one at his 2. Gulliford stumbles out to the 21-yard line. John Henry Mills brought him down, and Heath Schuler still the quarterback for the Saints as he'll lead the offense. Numbers not unimpressive in the first half.
No, numbers aren't terrible. They aren't expecting Heath Schuler to win this game. They just want Heath Schuler to not lose it. But one thing that they will have to do in the second half is throw the ball in the 15 to 20-yard range and deeper more effectively, because the Raiders right now aren't respecting those distances. They're the short 3-second passes.
And Doug Nussmeier in the baseball cap, but not in the bullpen just yet. Ditka said he wouldn't hesitate to go to him if Heath Schuler sputters. And the pitch goes to Bates, and Troy Davis in starting the second half in place of Bates. And Troy Davis goes nowhere as big Darrell Russell brings him down. Also along the right side for the Saints, Ricky Sigler, the big 6'7", 308-pounder, is also in the game at the right tackle spot.
This is their signature play. Right here is Darrell Russell. He's going to get double teamed by Farquhar and Jones, but he splits the double team, breaks the double team, and makes the tackle in the backfield. That's exactly what they talked about in the pregame show, how to split that double team.
Second and long, and Troy Davis looked like he might have been setting up a flea flicker. I'm not sure, but Greg Biekert was there to disrupt everything and bring Davis down for another big loss on the play.
Biekert, very intelligent player, comes in on a run blitz this time. Here's Biekert right here. He's just going to blitz around where Russell Maryland used to be. Nobody even touched him. What needs to happen there is that the offensive line needs to see that somebody needs to come off. You can't have people running free like that. This is one thing that the Saints practiced during their bye week. Better execution on the part of the offensive line. It has not shown up so far in this game.
3rd and 14 for the Saints. 4 wide receivers in the game. And Schuler hits Eric Gulliford, who shakes a tackle. Dan Land, he almost got away from the Land and stumbled forward for the first down, but he's going to be about 3 yards short. Nice effort for Gulliford, but he comes up a little short.
And nice effort for Schuler. Mike Ditka knows that his young quarterback did a pretty good job. The Raiders that time brought Morton, they brought Biekert, they blitzed 2 linebackers, and Heath Schuler stood in there, delivered a pretty good pass. They just had too far to go on 3rd down.
Mark Royal strikes this one, the high and short kick. Desmond Howard fields it at his 31, and Howard going up the line and finally runs out of real estate at the 40-yard line. So the Raiders take over in great field position. We do, however, have a flag down on the play. Back from where the Saints kicked it, and the Raiders may make them re-kick it here.
I'd put that ball into Desmond Howard's hands as much as possible. I mean, last year for the Green Bay Packers, Desmond Howard, Super Bowl MVP, led the league in punt return yardage.
Holding on the kicking team, number 52. The penalty is declined. First down, Oakland.
Last year, Desmond Howard led the league in average per punt return, yet he didn't make the Pro Bowl.
And he set a single season record with 875 return yards for Green Bay and 3 touchdowns. Jeff George leads his offense out. They'll try to add to their 10-3 lead when we come back.
Meant to be shared.
Raiders on first down. Napoleon Kaufman on the carry. He gets across the 40 to the 43.
Saints defense is holding up their end of it. Raiders offense averaging about 26 points per game. got 10 so far with no offensive support for the Saints defense. Right now, Jeff George is trying to spread that ball around, trying Napoleon Kaufman again, see if they can get a running game going. Because right now, none of their offense is working except George Dudley.
And George hasn't attempted to really go on the long bomb to a speedster James Jett or even Tim Brown deep down the field. He has hit Dudley down the seam. See what he does on second down. He hits Tim Brown on. Brown gets out close to first down yardage, right at midfield before he is brought down. Alex Molden making the tackle there, but Tim Brown has another catch, and it'll be very close.
Tim Brown in motion here. He's a fearless guy. He makes most of his catches over the middle, but look at Dudley right there. Pick off the linebacker Fields, and whoops, he's supposed to jump all over Brown, but he gets bumped off by the tight end Dudley, and so Brown is open to catch that ball. That's not quite legal, but you know what? If you don't get caught, yeah, you can do it.
Brown coming into the game just 88 yards short of another 1,000-yard receiving season for him. Came in with the second highest number of catches in the NFL at 59, behind only Herman Moore of the Detroit Lions. And this guy has been steady in a lot of phases of the game for a lot of years for the Raiders, and running routes, catching passes, also returning punts and kickoffs. But of course they got Desmond Howard in here now, so he doesn't have to do so much of that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you can get a great player doing too much and it'll diminish, because the difference between good and great is really small, and if you give a guy too much to do, you might diminish a little bit of that greatness on one phase or the other.
Raiders have struggled on third down all year, and they're going to be close again as Napoleon Kaufman doesn't gain a whole lot, but he didn't need to there on third and very short.
No, he needed about 3 inches, and he got about 3 3/4 inches right there. Kaufman,
they may have to measure this one again.
Look at that, 12 rushes, 15 yards today. Now you've got to give some credit to that Saints front seven. They're active. They're not doing as much stunting and as much blitzing as we thought they would at the beginning of the game. They've just played man up, and Zaven Uralian, the defensive coordinator, is proud of his guys, because what they've done is said, okay, look, Raiders, whatever you do to our offense, you're going to do, but our defense is going to match up on you one-to-one, and we're going to beat you one-to-one, and that's what they've done. Two guys are huge, Mickle and Wayne Martin. Wayne Martin's been quiet today in terms of his number being called, but he's been disruptive, and a main reason for Kaufman not running the ball very well. He's got good penetration on Lester Holmes.
On first down, and Tim Brown on the reverse. And Brown tried to get inside, but not letting him was Sammy Knight, who comes up for a good tackle. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. JB.
Eric and Trevor, Carolina has not beaten a team with a winning record this year. Why? Take a look at this. A pick thrown in the red zone. Second turnover in the red zone today by Carolina. Denver spiking them 20-0. Back to EC and Trevor Maddich.
JB, thank you very much. Raiders gained 2 yards or less on first down 9 times so far in the game. They don't get much that time, as George will put it up on second down. That one left a little bit short of his intended target, Ricky Dudley.
That's our man Wayne Martin again, getting penetration, forcing George out of the pocket, forcing him to throw the short. Ricky Dudley saying, man, you know, I had it there, but there's so much that goes on that affects other things. And that time Wayne Martin would affect anybody. Jeff George takes a look at him, and again, Wayne Martin is only listed at 275 pounds, but we talked to him last night, and boy, that guy, he could eat 275 pounds of pepperoni. I mean, he's a lot bigger than that.
He says he hasn't weighed 275 in about 4 years, but they just leave the listed weight at 75, and Jeff George has his intended receiver, James Jett, with plenty of space in front of him at the 43-yard line, and he simply drops it.
And Jeff George, he's not happy about this. This would have been a first down. Jeff George is becoming that team leader. He guns the ball off his back foot, hits the receiver in the hands, and Jeff is looking at it going, but he knows enough not to mouth any words that might be questionable to lip readers out there. He almost did, but then he clenched his teeth and closed his lips. Way to go, Jeff.
Leo Araguz will strike this one from about his own 39. high short kick. Eric Gulliford signals for the fair catch at his own 11, and that's where the Saints and Heath Schuler are going to take over. They're going to try to get their first touchdown in a while for Iron Mike Ditka when we return.
First down.
Saints on first down. They have had -5 yards their last 7 plays. They had 43 yards their first 6 plays of the game on first down. And the pitch back gets out to about the 15-yard line, does Troy Davis. Troy Davis, the only person in NCAA history with 2 2,000-yard seasons in his collegiate days at Iowa State. They're high on the rookie, but he hasn't busted one so far this year.
Well, right now they're looking for either back to really step up. The reason he's in there now is because nothing happened on the ground in the first half. Why not give him a shot?
2nd and 6. Schuler guns it to the far side. Hill driven out of bounds by Terry McDaniel, probably a yard short of the first down mark.
Now note the timing of that pass play. Heath Schuler goes back to pass, steps up and delivers it during the last week of practice. As we look at Hill on his pass route pushing off of McDaniel, that's a veteran move right there. They practice with a 3-second horn so that the quarterback had to either throw the ball at 3 seconds, throw the ball away at 3 seconds, or start his scramble. They want to get Heath Schuler back into that rhythm right now that they did really well at in practice over the last.
On 3rd and 1. Davis gets enough for the first down. It looked like second effort pushes him out across the 21-yard line. It looked like he had to get the nose of the ball just across the 21 to get first down yardage.
Here's Lorenzo Lynch. He knows Lorenzo Lynch right here. He knows exactly where this play is coming, and he's the only guy in the hole, and boy, is that mano a mano right there. Davis is fighting Lorenzo that the cavalry's going to come any second, but that's great toughness on both of those guys' parts. I mean, both coaches will be happy with that. Lorenzo Lynch came up, and he knew that the defense was going to open in that spot, and he knew that that's where he had to be.
The shortest prior third down situation was a 3rd and 6 before that 3rd and less than a yard, and now Troy Davis gets the pitch, and he is absolutely stonewalled trying to take it to the left side. Mike Morton, one of them there, Anthony Smith, one of them there, and Mike Ditka not happy with the results of that first play.
No, you can tell how it's going by looking at Ditka's face color right there. I mean, you can see that kind of. Okay, now Russell Maryland is right here. He's going to string this out and run free up there. I tell you, that's not something that a running back wants to see. Is a guy as big as Russell Maryland running in there. Now, the key to that is that the back can't cut back. And there's Mike turning red. Look at the color if you've got a color set. You don't even have to watch the game to know what's happening on the field.
And down, Schuler stepping up, dumps it off to Troy Davis, and Davis couldn't get away from the tackle of Greg Beekert. If he had, he would have had a lot of real estate along the far side of the field.
He did, and the Raiders linebackers have had a lot of grief lately for being victimized on pass routes by the opponent's running backs and tight ends. In that case, Beekert, the middle linebacker, had one-on-one pass coverage, and he's got a lot more speed than people give him credit for. People think that the Raider linebackers are slow because they get beat on one-on-one, but really they just weren't executing very well. They've done better recently. Beekert did a great job there.
And they've gone to the bullpen. Doug Nussmeier, 4th-year man out of Idaho, comes in to run this 3rd down play, and they are confused. So Nussmeier comes in essence, to take a timeout and talk to his coaches. And now Ditka has some words for Heath Schuler, who obviously did something not to the coach's liking that play and was pulled out of the game for Nussmeier on 3rd down and long.
You know, it's amazing that he'd get pulled in the middle of a drive like that. Now it looks like he may be coming back in, because before, when he's been replaced between drives. He was replaced at halftime one time, but to be replaced after 2nd down is an unusual thing. So I don't know if he did something on that play that Ditka told him not to do, or if he had some problem with equipment or something that he had to take care of.
I don't believe it was equipment. You know, Ditka, the master motivator.
With that much charisma and that much power.
Now Schuler back in the game on 3rd and long. Guns it, has his man. And first down yardage for the New Orleans Saints out to the 37-yard line. Brett Besh making the catch.
One thing Danny Abramo was told us yesterday is the difference between being open in the college ranks versus being open in the pros. And he used his hands to say when you're open in college, you're open this much and spread them out. When you're open in the pros, you're open that much and held them really close together. That time Brett Besh didn't look all that open, but from pro standpoint, he was. Again, give Heath Schuler credit for maintaining his composure after being screamed at and delivering such an accurate pass.
He had a few words in return for his head coach, too. Sent him back out in the game. On the flea flicker this time. Goes deep, and that one is caught. Or is it? They're ruling it incomplete. Randall Hill was on the far side, and Coach Ditka does not like the outcome of that one. Spikes the ball a little bit.
Boy, his gum coming out. Good thing he wasn't eating soup or something there. It would go all over the front of his shirt. Yeah, looking in the right direction. Actually, if Hill had kept coming back for the ball, he could have made that reception. The ball was in the air for a long time. Not a lot of zip on it. Now, as Hill comes back, if he keeps running, keep running, don't stop right there. No, I don't think that's a catch. He didn't quite have control of that ball when he hit the ground.
Excellent veteran play by the former Pro Bowler Terry McDaniel to strip it away just as he was going down. Schuler in lots of trouble. Down he goes. Darrell Russell on the sack with the dance.
Well, that's pretty good motion right there. Darrell Russell gets older, he won't be able to dance quite that way. His joints will stiffen up a bit. But hey, he just turned 21. He's a bit fluid and flexible.
Very fluid and flexible for a 320-pounder, and Schuler didn't have much of a chance that time.
Now here's the middle linebacker, Beaker. He's also going to come on this. And once again, the right tackle, this time Sigler, is late getting there. The Saints offensive line worked in this 2 weeks on the bye weeks on blitz pickup, on stunt pickup, on run blocking, and one-on-one pass protection. Right now, they just messed up on something they've been working at for 2 weeks in practice. The coaches have got to be pretty upset about that, because what can you do?
Mike Ditka trying to come up with a good play on 3rd and 23. Third quarter continues in a moment. Times so far, not quite through 3 quarters of this game. His Saints offense has been in 3rd and 10 or more 7 times, and that reflects pass protection, especially the last 4 games.
Doesn't much matter who your quarterback is when you can't block. That's one of the reasons that he is the quarterback right now. At least he can run all those defensive linemen a little better.
This drive, they are 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they have a 3rd and 23 staring them in the face. Schuler comes near side. That one caught and dropped. It would have been well short of 1st down yardage as he was looking for Andre Hastings on the near side, so the Saints will have to punt it away.
Mike Ditka now quiet with his thoughts, surveying the field. Heath Schuler showing great patience, looking downfield. He's not the rush. He's looking at his receiver, and that's just a flat-out drop. But again, give Heath credit. Ditka and Abramowitz will be happy about the young quarterback on that play. Showed a lot of points.
Desmond Howard back deep to receive the punt of Royals, and it is a dandy. Takes Howard back to his own 16. And Howard bounces it outside, trying to find some room around the corner. Gets it out to the 34-yard line, where the Raiders will take over. 1st and 10, still nursing that 10-. All night, Heath Schuler getting his left ankle or foot worked on a little bit.
He's got an, oh, what is that thing? It looks like a little infrared heat machine. They're trying to put some heat on it.
Oh, and a give to Napoleon Kaufman, who was met in the backfield and now goes down even harder. Richard Harvey coming up from his outside linebacker spot, but that one was blown up from the very beginning by that aggressive Saints defense.
Now, what would the violators say about that? Well, that's penetration. That's beyond penetration. It's like they lined up in the Raiders huddle with him on that one. Tubbs just shot his gun into the gap that time and was there. Could have taken a handoff, it almost seemed like. Very, very active linebackers and defensive line on this team.
So Kaufman, 13 carries now for 10 yards as he lost 4 on that play. And George has some time. Now he's in trouble, and down he goes. Is sacked. Fields was in there first as he came from his outside linebacker spot, and he has 4.38 speed he's been timed at as an outside linebacker.
Well, here you've got Tubbs, and you've got Fields coming in there, and you have Harvey. This is a zone blitz. They drop both defensive ends out. Now, what Jeff George is looking at right now is that about 20 yards down the field, you've got Ricky Dudley and Tim Brown. Both of them were blanketed by defensive backs. Nowhere to throw the ball. Zone blitz came up the middle, dropped the ends off.
The Raiders going backwards on 3rd and 25. Harvey Williams in motion to the far side. And George dumps it out of the backfield to Napoleon Kaufman. And Kaufman trying to find some room to roam. Gets it out across the 30. So they get a little bit of it back. About 12 on that run. Catch and run, I should say. And now Leo Araguz will punt it away.
Like you mentioned before, that you don't have to throw a ball deep to Napoleon Kaufman to necessarily get a big play. That time what they were looking for was Napoleon to use his talent, the bear factor, as it's called here in Oakland, Alameda. How do you say that?
Yeah, Oakland, Alameda County.
But they were able to surround him pretty good. Now the Saints in a rush configuration.
And the punt coming down short, and Eric Gulliford dances through it. He's got a hold. Gulliford finally brought down inside the 40-yard line of the Oakland Raiders, and once again, the Saints, because of that big return by Eric Gulliford, in great field. Bobby April loves it.
Bobby April's a guy that'll call interesting plays on you that time. There was nothing interesting there, though. No trick or no gimmick. What that was a bad punt. It was short. It was low. The coverage team had their timing thrown off. They also didn't have time to shake the blockers as they went down the field. Bobby April knows that they practice that, and when they practice it, it very rarely works as well as it does there.
So now the fans here at the Coliseum calling on their defense to stand up and stop them once again. Schuler on the rollout. Throws, has his man, and boy, is he leveled. Randall Hill is absolutely leveled by Lorenzo Lynch, but he holds onto the ball. First down, New Orleans.
Let's
hear
listen
this.
to this hit.
You gotta listen.
I've been on the field for enough of these, hearing it through my own ear hole. Oh, man. And I'll tell you, when it's your ear hole that gets hit like that, it's a lot louder than that.
Hill not thrilled with the hit he received that time from Lorenzo Lynch, but the result is a first down, and now we have flags on the play.
See, I like this. Schuler went with the hard count on this. The Raiders jumped, did the Saints. We'll see which way the officials call.
False start, offense number 76. 5 yards, still first down.
Well, that's Keno Hills. That's Keno Hills, the right guard. He has not played a snap in the NFL until 2 weeks ago. And this is a critical mistake for him to make in a situation like this. The Saints are one touchdown away from tying this game right now.
And this is what Danny Abramowitz and Mike Ditka talked to us about. They get something going well, and then they hurt themselves with a costly penalty. We'll see if Schuler and the offense can recover from this 1st and 15. Deep out pattern. Has a man open. And it's Randall Hill again, and that one is good for about 10 on the play. So that'll set up 2nd and 5. And Schuler's been throwing that pattern pretty well all day long.
Now McDaniel's going to respect Randall Hill's speed here. He's dropping off in his zone. Guess what? Hill breaks off the route and goes outside. I don't think he was originally intending to go there, but when he saw McDaniel back out that far, he knew that if he kept running, he'd run into McDaniel. So he broke it off. Good read by Schuler, good read by Hill.
Call it 2nd down and 4. And we have more movement. Who moved first?
They'll call McCollum on that, but look at who's over. Big 91, Chester McLaughlin. And I'll tell you something, you know, we can sit up here all we want and talk about.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 67, offense. 5 yards, still 2nd down.
We can talk about how hard it is or how bad it is for these guys to jump down here. Here's McCollum right here, and then you've got Chester McLaughlin over. The problem is, though, it's hard to hear down there, and you're going against a guy who's got Pro Bowl ability, who's upwards of 300 pounds, and really playing a fantastic game today. He's over you, I'll tell you, it's tough to hold on those hard counts sometimes. You have to, but I've been there, and it's hard.
8 penalties for 50 yards against the Saints, 2 costly ones on this drive. Schuler throwing, crossing is Irv Smith, and Smith up across the first down marker, and the Saints drive stays alive as the big tight end, bothered earlier this season by a knee sprain, has come up with a couple of nice catches today.
Irv Smith right here is going to come across the field. Heath Schuler is looking to his left with, and he checks down and throws to Irv Smith. That's a great job of check down by Heath Schuler, because he started out looking left. He then looked into the middle of the field, and then he caught Irv Smith as he came across. Irv Smith, veteran, knows what he's doing in there and knows that the tight ends have to get involved today.
On first down at the 13. And the give goes inside the 10-yard line. Mario Bates picking up decent yardage there on first down.
You know, good execution on this drive. I mean, run, pass, good mix. The players are doing well, but don't you have the feeling that Mike Ditka is over there holding his breath? You know, you got the whole Saints bench sitting there going, okay, what could go wrong? What's going to go wrong now? You know, because that's what's happened. The pattern has been to get here and then have something go wrong. This drive has been really well. If they can keep it going, they'll get their touchdown, tie the game.
And Schuler, impressive numbers indeed so far today. On the semi-rollout, comes near side and has his receiver. Lorenz trying to strip the ball out of there, but he is down at the 5-yard line, so it'll be 3rd down and 2. Irv Smith with another catch.
This has been their best play all day long. They've run it down here in the red zone. They've run it in the big field. They've run it coming out of their own end zone, where they will fake one way, quarterback will roll out the other, throw the ball to the tight end. That misdirection play, the Redskins, or the Redskins. But I used to play for the Redskins.
You used to play with them. You were there last year.
The Raiders, I mean, Raiders may be the only team I played for, are respecting the run. That's what makes that play work.
3rd and short, the give straight up. Ray Zellers powering through, and he'll be very close to first down yardage as we are just about at the end of the 3rd quarter. First down, goal to goal, spot the ball inside the 2-yard line. And Danny Abramowitz and the Saints offense knocking on the door, threatening to tie this one the end of the 3rd quarter. Oakland 10, New Orleans 3. Fox NFL Sunday continues after messages and a word from your local station. The Coliseum just
Look at that.
First downs have been big on this drive. Their last 3 first down plays have netted them 26 yards. Their first 9 netted them a total of -2. Here's Zellers. Does he get in? He does. Touchdown, the signal, and the Saints now cut it to within 1. And they're trotting out Brian to kick the extra point to try to tie this ball game with 14:57 to go.
Ray Zellers, big, powerful back. Goes about 233 pounds, 5'11". He just puts his shoulder down and drives on in there. That's Mike Dick kind of play right there. I mean, they got into training camp and they strapped it on tight, and they did stuff like that all summer long. And the last 2 weeks of practice, they got back to training camp drills, pass drills, but run drills too. Full contact stuff. Ray Zellers took right advantage of it, did just like he did in practice. Mike will be happy.
Doug Bryan for the extra point try. It is good. And we are tied at 10. We have got a ball game, and Mike Ditka pretty happy with the results. Back with more in a moment.
Upset. Now we're going to see him happy, looking on as Ray Zeller scores this touchdown. Don't clench your teeth there, Mike, with that tongue sticking out. But right here now, what's he wiping off? Ordinarily, he'd be wiping off bits and pieces of in the doghouse quarterbacks. You know, but there, hey, his quarterback is doing well. Heath Schuler, 7 for 9 for 60 yards. Led his team on a touchdown drive in just this half.
It's their first touchdown since a Mario Bates 1-yard run at 11:30 of the 4th quarter against Atlanta, October 12th. Here's Desmond Howard. And Howard trying to shift the tackle. We have a flag down at the 33-yard line of Oakland. Bobby April wondering what's going on with his special teams unit, kickoff coverage, and so is Joe Bugle.
Boy, Bobby April's animated, isn't he? That's a Mike Ditka kind of coach there. Good tackle. Oh, you got to love that, though. They're excited about it. I mean, you know, they've won 2 games this year, and they're still excited about what they're doing. They right now, tie ball game, good things are going on. They're fired up.
We have an Oakland Raiders shaken up on the field. It looks like Harvey Williams.
Holding the receiving team.
Now, they've already lost Derek Finner earlier today to an ankle injury. He has not yet returned, and his return was questionable. He hurt himself in the 1st quarter. And now Harvey Williams, who scored their lone touchdown, is down favoring his lower right leg. We'll check his status when we come back.
The official card of the NFL. It's everywhere you want to be. By fast, reliable FedEx. It's the way the world works. And by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
Chester McLaughlin and company checking out the overhead photos, trying to find out what the Saints are doing offensively. That led to that 1-yard touchdown run by Ray Zellers to tie us up 10 apiece early here in the 4th quarter. George off the play fake. Dumps it out of the backfield to Kaufman. And Kaufman picks up very short yardage on the play. Call it a gain of 4. It'll leave the Raiders at 2nd down and 6.
We've got a new game right now, though, 10-10. Remember at the beginning of the game, we said that one of these units, offensively and defensively, is going to go home happy. One is going to go home at the low point of their season. Well, right now it's in the balance for both teams. Both teams are now going to reset and go back to their original game plan. The Raiders right there got 4 yards on 1st down. Remember what we said at the beginning of the game. Okay. They want to gain more on 1st down.
On 2nd down, George, a quick pattern. He was looking for Ricky Dudley, who continued the pattern on the field. He was open, but didn't turn around and look at the ball.
He didn't see the blitz. Jeff George saw the blitz. Ricky Dudley did not. Tubbs, the middle linebacker, right here is going to come right up the middle. There is Dudley. Jeff George is looking right at that guy, but Dudley isn't. And you notice that Dudley in the middle of the field is in the spot that Tubbs vacated. He didn't see it. Basketball. Maybe he was expecting a bounce pass at that point. I'm not sure. But
Ray Perkins going, by God, how many yards could he have gained had he turned around and caught that one? But instead, 3rd and 6 for the Raiders. Penalty flags are down. George guns, and that one's almost intercepted. Another flag down. So we could have offsetting penalties here. Let's wait till they sort it out. Mark Fields might be the culprit with some interference on one flag. Both penalties against the New Orleans Saints. One offsides, one pass interference.
There were 2 fouls on the defense. Offsides, number 97. Pass interference on the defense, number 55. Accepted. 1st down.
Eric, look at the position that we're in right now. Well, we'll look at the interference. We're going to look at Ricky Dudley. He's going to slip, hit inside, and that chuck can only go 5 yards. And that's the 2nd time that Fields has wrapped his arms around Ricky Dudley.
Both teams with 8 penalties called. Harvey Williams, who lay on the field after the kickoff to the Raiders, back in the game at the fullback spot, and the quick pass comes out to Tim Brown. Picks up about 5 yards. Right now for McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown in our Fox Television Center in Hollywood.
Hey, Eric, boy, it continues to pour for Kerry Collins and the Panthers. Take a look. He throws his 3rd pick of the day. That's his 13th on the season. This one returned by Tyrone Braxton. 34-0 spanking by Denver. Back to E-Man and Trevor Maddich.
Many say Broncos arguably the best team in the NFL right now, but the Green Bay Packers coming on, the defending Super Bowl champs. They maybe have a head-on meeting in the upcoming Super Bowl. And there's a pass down the near sideline. Jeff George hitting Harvey Williams, but flags down on the play, and Harvey Williams may have illegally stepped out of bounds.
Well, the hat's off the ref.
The hat's off, that's correct.
If that's what it is, a receiver cannot step out of bounds, then come back in bounds and be the first guy to touch the ball. In this case, yep, that's the call.
Illegal touch.
That's what it means when the hat comes off. Harvey Williams is saying, wait, whoa, wait, what'd I do? I don't think he even knows what he did. He probably wasn't looking down at his feet. Harvey Williams is incredulous. Boy, that's a... I want to have that thing explained to him down there. But, Eric, look at the situation that we're in the game right now. All this game, the Raiders have looked like they've been beaten up on the Saints. They really have. That's been the image that's been going on. But when you look at the score, it's 10-10 right now. The Raiders did not put the Saints away when they had the chance to, when their defense was holding the Saints to basically nothing. Their offense wasn't able to move the ball against the Saints defense. And, you know, the Saints defense has been doing this all year long, where they've been holding good offenses in a position where they're their offense has had a chance to go down to score some points and win some games. Unfortunately, the Saints offense has been turning it over. Today, they've done a lot better with turnovers. So the fact that the Saints defense is doing so well right now has put them in a position to be able to win this game. Because all through the first 3 quarters of this game, my impression of it was
the illegal touching on the offense. The receiver was out of bounds and was first to touch the pass. By rule, the result of the play is an incomplete pass. The penalty is 5 yards, is declined, making it 3rd down.
Harvey Williams. Joe Bugle doesn't want to look at Harvey Williams, but here's Harvey right here. He's going to come out and run down the right sideline. He's going to get too close to that sideline and steps out right about there, comes back in, catches the ball. The ref takes his hat out, and then he throws the flag in the air. But Eric, my impression of this game has been that the Raiders have controlled it. But look up at the scoreboard. Guess what?
Total yards, the Saints catching up to the Raiders, 190 to 210 unofficially right now. Raiders with that 19-yard edge right now in total offensive yardage, but the Saints have moved the ball on offense here in the second half. We got a tie game. George looking downfield. That was a dangerous-looking pass. Is it intercepted? Fans are thinking it's complete. It looked like one official waved it incomplete, and we still don't really have a call yet. The ball seems to have been spotted there. If it is, then the Oakland Raiders have a 1st down.
4th down.
So the Raiders fail on 3rd and long. They're averaging almost 10 yards to go on 3rd down today. Precisely what Al Davis didn't want to see his team do.
Well, Desmond's on the top of your screen. He makes his cut, turns back out. You know, Jeff George shouldn't have thrown that ball. That wasn't a characteristic bullet by Jeff. It looks like he even knew he shouldn't have thrown it, took something off of it, because that was good coverage by the Saints.
Leo Aragu back in deep punt formation will strike this from his 19. High punt coming down to Eric Gulliford at his 27. Gulliford finds a seam. And Gulliford with another big punt return sets up the Saints in great shape once again at the Oakland 43-yard line.
Number 57, Rob Holmberg, got juked by Gulliford that time. He's not going to like to look at the films.
His chief punt returner, Eric Gulliford, last 2 punt returns for the Saints, 32 and 28 yards. His latest sets up the Saints in great shape at the Oakland 44-yard line. Now the Raider fans calling on their defense to stop the Saints here. And good yardage on 1st down. Mario Bates tips-toed through the hole. And we talked about Bobby April being happy with the special teams. Check him out after this punt return.
Well, he's enthusiastic. That's as high as he can jump, but you know, give him credit. Whoa! Got the seesaw motion going on.
Trying to create a winning attitude here with the Saints, and enthusiasm when they do something positive is a way to do it. So thinks Mike Ditka and the rest of his coaching staff. On 2nd down, Bates again in trouble. He snowed under in the backfield. Submarining the pile there was Greg Beekert. The middle linebacker came into the game with 58 tackles, tied for 2nd on the team.
Chester McLaughlin working over Keno Hills right there. Chester just takes him and throws him to the ground and gets in the way right there. That's tough when you've got a right guard who's young, hadn't played a snap until 2 weeks ago, going against Chester. And I can tell you now that Chester, after the performance of the Raider defense last week, is playing with a frenzy in this 4th quarter.
3rd down and 5. 4 receiver set for the Saints. Schuler dumps it to the near side, and it is incomplete. James Trapp was all over Randall Hill. It'll create an interesting 4th down situation for the Saints. 4th and 5 at the Oakland Raider 39-yard line. And it appears Mike Ditka is going to send on Mark Royals and the punt team.
He's got enough confidence in his defense now that what they'll try to do here is punt the ball down inside the 5. The defense needs to hold the Raiders, make the Raiders punt again. They'll get the ball in about the same field position. Ditka has confidence in his defense that they can do that.
Royals aims toward the far sideline. And he gets it down there. It's batted well back in bounds and now batted again, but it'll be marked inside the 10-yard line at the 8, where the Raiders will take over. The field position not good, but they'll try to get something going offensively when we come back to the area. Oakland on first down and 10 from their own 8. Napoleon Kaufman gets out across the 10 to the 12-yard line. Kaufman needing 88 yards coming into the game to go over 1,000. That was his 14th carry, and he has about 14 yards. Look at the Oakland offense here. 9 possessions, a touchdown, a field goal, 6 punts, and a turnover. Not the quick strike offense we've come to know and see from the Oakland Raiders so far this year.
Credit the Saints defense.
And 2 weeks in a row, they've been pretty much shut down by the opposition. Carolina shut them down last week. Napoleon Kaufman got through the line of scrimmage, but the hole closed very quickly. Richard Harvey blasting in from his linebacker spot to make the hit.
Okay, we're going to see Harvey coming in from right there. Nope. Oh, no, he came in from the other side. There he's in the middle of the screen. Yeah, he wasn't that far outside, but he slipped inside. He didn't have any contained responsibility at all. All he needed to do was skate inside.
On 3rd down and 6. Gets rid of it, and that is incomplete. He was looking for Ricky Dudley, who was covered by Mark Fields on the play, and he simply threw that one away. So Joe Bugle's offense really been stuffed here, especially in the second half, by the New Orleans Saints defense.
And they've been stuffed. You mentioned that Carolina shut down the Raiders offense last week. Well, they did early in the game, but the Raiders came back, scored a lot of points late. They're not doing that right now against the Saints defense.
Eric Gulliford, key punt returning so far today, has 2 solid punt returns in a row, and this one by Leo Arrows brings him back to his 37. And Gulliford, not much room to run, gets it out up to the 43-yard line. Again, though, great field position for the Saints as we get here still early in the 4th quarter. Plenty of time to go. Saints trying to take the lead. A lot of success, but Heath Schuler has been here in the second half. George limited to just 27 yards through the air. Schuler 60 yards on 7 of 10, but all important, no touchdowns, but no interceptions either, Trevor.
That's important. Heath Schuler has got to be consistent. He's got to make sure he doesn't turn the ball over, make the killing mistake. That his teammates around him help him move the ball down for a couple of first downs and a possible field goal.
Last 3 drives, Saints starting field position. The Oakland 36, the Oakland 44, and right now at their own 43. Zellers goes in motion. Schuler stepping up off the play fake, goes deep down the middle. It is complete. Andre Hastings down inside the 35 to the 33-yard line, but flags are down on the play. And once again, Mike Ditka's team shoots itself in the foot, apparently. It'll go against the Saints. Pass interference against the offense.
Pass interference on the offense, number 82. 10-yard pick, still first down.
Irv Smith, the tight end, away from the ball.
And Mike Ditka had a few choice words for the official that made the call, so he'll pick up an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and that'll cost the Saints 15 more.
And that's costly. The Saints aren't a good enough offense to make up for this kind of adversity. When you go back that far, when you've got that far to go to get a first down, there are teams that have got the horses to be able to make it up. The Saints don't. And they do make this up.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, New Orleans, 15 yards, still first down.
If they do make this up, it'll be a statistical aberration more than it will be something you would expect.
First down and 35 after the offensive pass interference and the unsportsmanlike conduct against the, against the Saints coach. Ray Zellers with another flag down thrown in the backfield, gets out to the 20-yard line. Chester McLaughlin claiming he was taken down by a hold.
Looks like they're talking about face masks there. And there's Heath having a conversation with Chester McLaughlin. Heath is trying to get on his good side right now. I mean, Chester will sack him hard anyway, but well, I guess if he likes the kid, he won't hurt him too bad. That may be what Heath is trying to do there.
Wow.
Yeah, again, it's against the Saints. This one, the Saints were starting to get some confidence off.
Two fouls by the offense.
Face mask by the offense, the runner number 34. Penalty is declined. Holding by the offense number 76 is accepted. Half the distance, still first down.
Well, Mike Ditka can't believe it. You're going to see Zellers, number 34, put his hands right in the face of Lorenzo Lynch. Yeah, you can't do that. And he left it there, too. Now, you can push it and pull it down if you're the runner, but you can't leave it there. And he left it there, and that's what the penalty was about.
So on 1st and 44 from their 9, inside handoff goes and out across the 20-yard line up to the 24 is Ray Zellers. James Trapp came up from his strong safety spot for the hit.
Barcelona Olympic team coming up and sticking his head in there on a fullback.
So the NFL's fastest man winner back in 1995. Mario Bates trying to get outside. He runs into a slew of silver and black over there. Chester McLaughlin and Eric Turner were the first to greet him, but he simply had nowhere to run.
Well, look at this from Mario Bates. He's going to get this ball, and he's going to see this in his face mask. Now, how would you like to see this guy looking at you like you're a target? Okay, there's Chester right there. Mario's going to come out here to his right, our left on the screen, and here, look at what Mario's looking at. Oh no, what do I do? Ah! I'll tell you something, that's a bad position to be in right there.
So now 3rd down and 30 to go for the Saints at their own 24. Schuler setting up screen near side, hits Zellers, and Zellers gets it out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. That'll be, of course, way short of a first down on 3rd and 30, and that is probably a drive he, Schuler, Mike Ditka, and the Saints would rather forget. Royals, a beautiful punt to send Howard back to his own 13. Howard runs into his own man, and then he is swarmed under by a host of white, gold, and black shirts. So the Oakland Raiders take over again deep in their own territory. Mike Ditka on his defense once more. Their own 17. They have not done much offensively here in the second half against the Saints defense. George going deep down the near side. Had Dudley in between a couple of defenders, but threw it high and out of bounds.
Now Ditka sees what's going on. He reacts so hard that his watch comes off. Look at this. The watch is off. He's going, you know, I paid some money for this thing. I'm not going to throw it down and step on it yet. We've got to lose the game before I'll go that far.
And he's got to, in retrospect, probably think his tantrum against the official there on the controversial pass interference call had to hurt his team a lot, and now he wants his defense to pick him up a little bit here on this Oakland Raider drive. 2nd down and 10 to go. And Jeff George is looking on the far side. He was looking for Ricky Dudley, and Anthony Newman came up from his safety spot and knocked that one away. So once again, the Raiders will find themselves in 3rd and long, which has been the case all day.
And Eric, on 1st down, they went right, attempted for Ricky Dudley. This time, there's Dudley, number 93. They go left. Or check that, 83, Ricky Dudley. They tried him to the right, it didn't work. They tried him to the left, it didn't work. Right now, Jeff George knows that his offense has been Ricky Dudley, and so he's trying to go there. Watch for a pass to Tim Brown on this play, though.
3 receivers set in for the Raiders. And George blitzes on, and down he goes. Blowing in from his cornerback was Alex Molden. And Molden, the 2-year man out of Oregon, comes up with the sack, and again 3 and out for the Raiders, and the Saints will probably wind up with good field position once again after this Leo Aragoose punt.
And they'll be sick about that play, because you're going to see his pocket collapses around Jeff George. You're going to see Tim Brown. Okay, here's Molden right here coming in, untouched on a corner blitz. George is looking down the field at Tim Brown, who was wide open coming across the middle.
Leo Aragoose gets this one off. It will be the Raiders' 8th punt of the day. And this is a high one coming down to Eric Gulliford at his 41. And Gulliford still bouncing off of tackles, gets it out across the 45 to the 46. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended, I'll get it straight, for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the Oakland Raiders and the National Football League is strictly prohibited. And we have an injured Raider down on the field at the East, and both teams may go away losers today. Right now, this one tied, of course, at 10 apiece, and the Saints on first down again in great field position. Did not get a lot, maybe a yard gained on that play. Anthony Smith, the first there to stop it.
Eric, the Raiders have an 8-man front.
Coming up tonight on Fox,
Eric, the Raiders are bringing up safeties now in order to play an 8-man front. They've only got one guy deep. We've got 8 guys up there to stop the run now.
Schuler looking far side. That one batted down at the line of scrimmage. Darrell Russell got a big hand up. Rookie, second overall selection. Turned 21 in May. And he got all 6'5", 320 pounds up to swat that one away.
Here's big Darrell. Once again, using that raw physical talent. Doesn't get much of a rush, but he sees the pass coming and times it. And he's happy. That's good enthusiasm.
Get the feeling the first team to make a big play. Third down and 9. Schuler goes far side, has Eric Gulliford, and Gulliford goes out of bounds. First down yardage at the 39-yard line of the Raiders.
That's the biggest play of the game for the Saints. The most pressure, the most important so far of this whole game. Mike Ditka knows that his young guy did a good job, but he's not going to settle back and pat anybody on the rear end yet. There's a ways to go here now. They're on the 39-yard line. They need to get one more first down to be in position to kick a field goal.
14 yards on the gain for Eric Gulliford, showing his versatility today, catching punts and kickoffs, returning them, and catching big passes like that one on third down. Mario Bates hits the corner. Bates inside the 30 to the 29, 28-yard line of the Raiders. That'll be another first down for New Orleans. James Trapp ran him out of bounds, but the Saints on the move once again.
But you know what? That's a low price to pay for that kind of a gain in this situation.
So the Saints in field goal range right now at the Oakland 28. Bates in. Bates stepping over tacklers, gets down inside the 25-yard line. Saints on first down have gained over 10 yards in 4 of their last 6 plays, not including that one we just saw, and Mario Bates picking up pretty good yardage. You
know what it's like to be Russell, Maryland? Take a look at this. There's Big Russell. Big Russell's going to get hit by 2 guys, driven back and onto the ground. I'll tell you something, he had about 700 pounds of guys on him right there.
Pick up a 4 for Mario Bates on that run. He's 2nd and 6. And Bates again trying to get around the corner, now cuts it back inside and just dives forward. He really had nowhere to go as the Raiders sealed it off very quickly. So it'll be 3rd and 6 for the Saints.
Once again, Chester McLaughlin rising up, taking control of the game. Here's Chester right here. He's going to take McCollum, push him back into the backfield, into the lead blocker, into the cutback lane, and there's nowhere for Bates to run. Chester taking control. Right now, he knows this is critical. They can't let him get any closer because every yard the offense moves closer increases exponentially. That's a good word, Eric.
Yeah, great.
Increases dramatically. Field goal accuracy.
Okay, I understand that one. Saints take a timeout, another critical 3rd down play. It'll be 3rd and 6 from the 24 as it stands right now.
Their only job is to protect the football. Do not turn it over. Number 2, don't lose yardage. No penalties, no sacks. Number 3, get the first down if you can.
14 times they've had 6 or more yards to go on 3rd down. Inside handoff, and it goes nowhere as Mike Morton meets Ray Zellers for probably a loss of a yard or 2 on that play. So Doug Bryan will come on and attempt this field goal from 43 yards away, make it 44 yards away.
Eric, I don't like that last call. On that last call, it was a passing situation. They ran a slanting play, not a diving play. It allowed penetration to disrupt it. That was the wrong time to call that play.
Doug Bryan hit a 47-yarder earlier today. This one coming from 44. And it is good.
It's good.
So the New Orleans Saints have the lead with 2:57 to play. Finally take advantage of some good field position. And Doug Bryan, with his second field goal of the game, gives New Orleans a 13-10 lead. They've scored 13 unanswered points now.
And the Raiders offense has been doing absolutely nothing. They've been trying different things, but they haven't been trying enough. I mean, Jeff George has had success going to Dudley. He had success early in the game going to Tim Brown. They've not really thrown it Jets' way. They've thrown him 1 or 2 balls and that's it. They haven't thrown many balls to the running backs coming out of the backfield. The things that haven't been working, they've got to get away from now. They've got to try to get to some things that they haven't tried yet. They've got to throw the ball down the field to Jet. They've got to get Tim Brown back involved. His yards and catches have come really in the first quarter. Since then, he's been very, very quiet.
They could use a play from that man, Jeff George, or their chief return man on kickoffs and punts, Desmond Howard. Bryan set to kick it deep to Desmond Howard, who's also back with Tim Hall, who was shaken up a little earlier. Nice to see that he's back in the game and healthy again. Saints hope their defense can hold on for another 2:57 as they come back to take a 3-point advantage. Kickoff coming down to Desmond Howard just inside his own goal line. And Howard just ran out of room there. His body's gotten his way and he'll be stuffed right about the 19-yard line. So Jeff George and the Raiders start at about their own 19. Tonight on Fox, secrets will be revealed. Will Joe Namath help Bart Simpson win the championship? Is Bobby Hill the next supermodel? Then the conclusion of the season premiere of X-Files tonight, except on the West Coast. So that's following football right here on Fox. Make sure you stay tuned. Right now we got an exciting 2:46 remaining. You know, Jeff George and the Oakland offense is not going to try to go down quietly here against a very stingy defense. George guns it over the middle, has his receiver Kenny Shedd, and Shedd gets up close to the 30-yard line. They are running the hurry-up offense. First down, Raiders. Positive pickup there, up 13 or 12 yards, I should say, on first down there. So the Raiders in the hurry-up with 2:24 to go. George gets this one quickly away to Kenny Shedd, and Shedd forced out of bounds at the 41-yard line. So Kenny Shedd, who only came into this game with 6 catches for 71 yards, gets 2 in a row here and moves the Raiders out to the 41.
Kenny Shedd been quiet today except for his own tackle of Desmond Howard. Just stops, pivots back outside, makes the catch. There's nobody there. It's a zone defense, and so there's nobody shadowing him. But it's a zone, but it's not a prevent. Don't look for the Saints to drop into a soft prevent. They've blitzed the last 2 plays. Raiders
just converted their longest 2 gains on first down today. Both of them completions from Jeff George to Kenny Shedd. George again comes to the near side looking for Kenny Shedd. That one was thrown a bit high.
The Saints blitzed again, and the Raiders have a back and a tight end in to protect. They've got 7 guys in to protect Jeff George. They've got 3 going out in the pass. Ray Perkins, offensive coordinator of the Raiders, wants to make sure that his best weapon, Jeff George, is standing on his feet and able to deliver.
Harvey Williams is the lone setback behind George. 3 wide receivers in now for the Raiders on 3rd and short. And Harvey Williams cuts it back, gets across the 45 to the 46. A pickup of almost 5 yards on the play. That'll keep the drive alive as the hurry-up continues, but we get to the 2-minute warning. The Raiders on the move out at their own 46-yard line with 2 minutes to go. Will continue. The Saints have a game. The Raiders trailing by 3 on the move. They converted a couple first downs this drive.
And Eric, at the top of this drive, we said that Jeff George wanted to get the ball to some people other than Dudley, and he's thrown a couple to Shedd now. He's moving it around.
Shedd split out wide to the near side, and the 3 wide receivers set for the Raiders. Need to punch it into the field goal range of Cole Ford at the very least. George gets it away. That ball batted dangerously in the air. It was knocked away from Tim Brown. Alex Molden was there on the coverage.
Did that not look like the immaculate reception being set up? Tim Brown coming in behind. Alex Molden, sprinter, not afraid of the speed of Tim Brown or Jet. Able to cover pretty closely, knock that ball up in the air.
Now on 2nd down and 10. George looking to go upstairs and going deep down the far sideline, and Tim Brown, the intended receiver. But again, Alex Molden was there with excellent coverage on the play, simply nowhere to throw it.
Alex Molden could not have been closer to Tim Brown on that. The ball would have had to have been thrown perfectly, and it couldn't because Tubbs came blitzing right up the middle again. Jeff George couldn't throw off his front foot. He was backpedaling, threw the ball off his back foot to Tim Brown, wasn't able to get enough loft on the ball. You can see this ball's coming kind of flat. If it had gone up in the air higher and was coming down, more straight down, Tim Brown would have had a better shot at it.
So again, the Raiders face 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 from their own 46. And the quick hitter to Tim Brown, and Brown is brought down after a very short gain and brought down hard. Fields is one of the guys to bring him down on the play, so that'll set up 4th down and probably 6 or 7 to go, and the Raiders still in the hurry-up offense. 4th and 8 to go, call it. Only a 2-yard gain for Tim Brown on that quick pass. George throws it deep downfield. It is intercepted. And Sammy Knight brings it back all the way in the Raider territory at the Oakland 34-yard line. And the cascade of boos come down here at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum.
Eric, right now the unthinkable is happening here in Raiderland. What would the violator be thinking? We said at the beginning of the show. Well, here is the play. Jeff George throwing back across the field, which ordinarily you never do. Jeff George is one of the quarterbacks who can get away from it. Sammy Knight grabs that ball, and he might be the slowest defensive back on either team right now. But he's a football player. Mike Ditka likes guys that play football, and if you don't come up with a stopwatch, he doesn't care as long as you make plays like Sammy Knight just did.
1:09 to go in the game as the Saints start this drive, and the Raiders have a couple of timeouts remaining, and they will use them as quickly as possible. There is one. So the Raiders hope for a stop here to get the ball back and to get in the field goal range. But the Saints, with a few yards, will be once again in the range of their kicker, Doug Bryan, who has a couple on the day.
Well, obviously the Raiders need to make a stop here. They'll have an 8-man front up to take away the percentage passes and the short runs. However, there's a lump welling up in the Raiders' throats right now because, again, at the beginning of the show, of the game, we talked about how one of these teams would go home happy and one would hit a season low point. If the Saints are able to hold on and beat the Raiders after having been shut out 2 games in a row on the Raiders' home field, I don't think there's any way that you could get any lower than the Raiders would be on Monday morning when they pick up the papers around here.
This is a team that comes in and had played over 2 games and had not gotten into the end zone or even scored a point. And today they have 13 against the Raiders. On 2nd down, naked bootleg, and Schuler will keep it. And Schuler goes down at the 35-yard line, and another timeout being taken. We have a flag on the play as well. It got caught up in some bodies over across the field. A face mask against the Raiders. Wow.
This is such a smart play by Heath Schuler. This, again, is that counter play that where you fake one way, roll back out the other, look for the tight end.
Phil Luckett having some trouble with his microphone there, but coming up after football tonight here on Fox as they mark off the penalty, JB and the World's Funniest. Then the Simpsons. Joe Namath is going to make an appearance to help Bart Simpson win the championship. Bobby Hill, the next supermodel, and the startling conclusion of the season premiere of the X-Files. That's coming up after football, except on the West Coast. Saints just want to take a knee now after that face masking penalty gives them a first down. No way the Raiders have enough timeouts left to stop it.
Eric, there's about 12 people left in the Coliseum, and 8 of them are on the way out. This is about the worst way that they could have ended here. The Saints would have had third and long. Instead, they've got 1st and 10. And there'll be no way that the Raiders will be able to stop the clock. And the reason is a face mask penalty on a quarterback who's scrambling. There's no reason in the world for that to happen.
Saints take advantage of great field position here in the second half. Their average start was their own 40-yard line. And with that great field position, they get 10 points out of it.
Did you see that smile on Mike Ditka's face? And the Raiders, just the opposite. There he is. He just paid off saving your alien. I don't know what on earth that was about. Let's find out what that bet is, because somebody made some money right there. Mike Ditka's a happy dude right now.
They had some heated discussion earlier, and maybe Zabin was telling him, listen, coach, just be quiet. Let me run the defense, and at the end of the game, I'll give you $10 if we don't come out on top.
Well, that's an investment well worth it right there. I'll tell you something. A team playing on the way home after a like this is the biggest party you've ever seen in your life. It's not necessarily loud, but it is so light.
Well, we just saw Uralian give Ditka back some money. I don't know whether he changed the 50 or what, but Zabin really with a big smile on his face as his defense comes up with a great performance again. And Sammy Knight coming up with the big interception on the ill-advised Jeff George pass in the Raiders' last gasp. And that'll be the last knee to take, and the New Orleans Saints will leave the Oaktown with a big victory. 13-10. The New Orleans Saints came in at least 9-point underdogs, and they get the victory here for Mike Ditka. 13-10 is the final. Eric Gulliford came up with a key first down catch, but the energizer play of the game turned in by a solid defensive effort by Sammy Knight, coming up from his free safety position on this ill-advised crossfield pass by Jeff George. Picks it off to seal the New Orleans Saints victory. 13-10 over the Oakland Raiders. The Saints move to 3-7. The Raiders fall in the worst way to 3-7 as well.
The Raiders are lower than 3-7 right now, though, Eric. I'll tell you that right now. This is the worst way you can possibly get to 3-7. But the Saints, huge victory.
All right, you've been watching Fox Sports' coverage of the National Football League.